Viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Monsters Unleashed. Step in, stand hard, no turning back. Monster Mike hits the front line, cutting through the dark. Boots hitting the ground like he's calling something out. If the night wants to move, it moves through him first. He wants answers, and he takes them. We move in, no fear, eyes sharp, heart steady. We walk the dark, we hunt the unseen. We stand together and push through anything. This is the team, this is the fight. This is Monsters Unleashed, coming alive tonight. Trisha hits the right flank, silent and locked in. She feels the forest breathe, hears a shift before it breaks. One glance and she knows when something's watching. Doug pushes forward like he owns the trail, strong stride, no pause. If something's waiting, he's the one in me. We walk the dark, we hunt the unseen. We stand together and push through anything. This is the team, this is the fight. This is Monsters Unleashed, pulling the night in tighter.
We're the best there is, and I'm telling you, yes, I'm excited. Woo!
Whoa.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again for another episode of Monsters Unleashed. Tonight, I know it says that we're supposed to have the Vogel brothers here, but we're having technical difficulties. We waited for as long as we can. Hopefully, they do tune in, and we can pick up with that. But you know, it's always technical difficulties when
That's
it
my
comes
sign.
to us. We've had to give your sign tonight, Jen, over to
Yep.
Tim Vogel there.
Yep.
It's technical difficulties night for them. We
Not
actually
me.
had him here. He was on camera, but he couldn't hear us. We couldn't hear him, and he couldn't get it figured out. So he was actually going to run to his brother's house and retry it again from there. So hopefully he tunes in. And also Miss Donna, she was supposed to be here too, but she may be having problems up there too. You know, she lives back in the woods, and her internet is kind of spotty.
Mhm.
And with the weather and stuff they've been having. So, but we do apologize if we do not get the Vogel brothers on here tonight. We'll book them again because they're a very good team, and they got some extraordinary evidence.
Mhm.
But speaking about extraordinary evidence, I do have some videos, and we're going to have a video coming out this week. And I thought I'd play some bits and pieces of it, and we talk about some things there. We have showed some photos before from this video, and you know, that included this photo right here when we had a Sasquatch, what we think to be a Sasquatch, peeking out from behind a tree, looking at us. And I have some of that video here tonight, and I can play that for the audience. You know, we wasn't really prepared to talk about anything else, unfortunately. So we're hoping and praying that Mr. Vogel shows up. But Jen has never seen any of this video either. So, well, no one has except myself and my team. And this starts in where I actually had a physical sighting of a Sasquatch there in Russian Creek in the LBL that day. And it was something else. But let's see here. Let me see if I can get this video up real quick. A local video here. Let's try this one.
It wasn't that far.
Now,
That's why I thought it was her walking. It was like
it's like this bigger here.
right there.
Is it choppy for you, Jen?
Thought it was a
Yeah, a
person
little bit.
walking.
Yeah, I'm having internet problems too. So,
Yeah, it's playing and stopping, playing and stop.
yeah. I don't know what's going on with it. Give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Oh, guys, I'm really sorry about it. This is rough. I do apologize. It was playing fine a while ago. It's my internet. I'm having problems with a internet switch here at my house, and it's caused me issues. And I've actually ordered one. I'm waiting for it to be delivered so I can get it changed out, and it's messing up my internet. All my devices are hardwired, but it's been ridiculous. Let me see here if I have something else real quick. Let me try it one more time.
Okay.
It wasn't that far.
Working better.
That's why I thought it was her walking. It was like right there.
You can hear how excited I am in this.
Thought it was a person walking.
I had seen this thing walking in these woods right here. I thought it was Patricia. I thought it was Patricia walking. Patricia had on a black hoodie, and when I seen it from the corner of my eyes, my peripheral vision, and I turned and I looked, and like I know I looked at it for 4 seconds, but my mind did not register that it was not her. It was something big and black walking through the woods. And I turned and I looked at Doug, and I'm like, what's Trisha doing walking down here in the woods by herself? Doug's like, Doug said, she's not. She went down the road with Cindy, my wife. And I'm like, well, who in the hell is that? And we looked, and it was gone.
Walking in the woods, I thought it was you.
And it was gone at this point.
Oh, you found the actual footprint?
Now, I'm talking to Trisha on the radio. She's down the road close to a half a
Mark,
mile
you
from
see?
me. Hello there, Ash. How are you?
40 yards in front
Hi,
of you,
Ash.
2 trees. It went that way. Did you see something? Oh,
Now, Mark Roberts is
Mark
up
just
on
saw
top of this
something
ridge
too.
up above me. Mark heard it. You can see how thick it is back up in there.
hang tight. Mark just said
Mark
something
heard
too,
it
so-
crashing through the weeds. It was moving, and it was going down into this ravine. And I have to apologize for my camera work here. I'm looking all around. I'm not even really paying attention to my camera. I'm trying to pick this thing up. You can see Mark up above me there. most of our guests know Mark Roberts. We've had him on the show a few times. We've talked. He's in our. He's probably in our chat right now. Hello, Mark, if you are. But right into the left, right there. That's the area that I actually seen it walking. It was walking like it was going up that hill. And you see Mark up there.
Okay.
I'm out of breath because I'm rushing in there and I'm fat, so I apologize for the heavy breathing. Yeah, this is This is part of the Russian Creek video, Trisha. We're still waiting on Tim Vogel. He went to his brother's house to get on his computer, and he hasn't showed back up yet, and we can't delay our guests any longer. So we're going through some of the video there from Russian Creek.
Hi, Trisha. I can't see who's in the chat, so you'll just have to tell me.
Yeah, you can see it if you go over and look on the chat. Yeah, you got to hit the little chat icon on the dashboard, and you can see the chat.
Oh, you know how my dashboard is.
Yeah. It's like you got your dashboard off of Temu or something.
Right. I still can't figure out which one's the chat. There's a Santa Claus on mine. Do you have a Santa Claus on yours?
No.
I really do.
I thought it was Trisha walking.
There, I found
That's
it.
why I asked.
You see how thick it's getting?
Mm-hmm.
Spot where Randy's wife had the same thing, a black figure walking this direction. It's about 1,000 yards that way.
Trisha's got a footprint over there.
Yeah, it's what we saw that I wasn't sure was footprint. We found them, several of them. Wasn't sure about them, but they had the overall shape of the footprint. Yeah.
How large were they? Pretty good size then.
And there was a stride between two of them, and didn't see any more. Then found another one further up.
No, they had been in, Mark and his team had been in there. Hey, Andy, what's going on, man?
Hi, Andy.
Pictures of them, I believe.
We're waiting on our guests to still show up.
I did, Mark. I definitely seen it walking. That's why I thought it was Trisha. I was like, did they go over there?
Yeah. Well,
Because it looks solid black.
it sounded like a person walking when I.
Yeah, Trisha, it's okay. If anybody, for people that don't know, Trisha's not here tonight. Her daughter wrestles for the school, and she
I know I'm not seeing
armed in wrestling, so she's got
I
her.
didn't take my medicine today.
I'm sure she'll be okay, but
We may have flushed it towards
Trisha will be back on next week's show for sure.
I hope she's okay.
Trisha,
strange too, right here.
keep your head on a swivel. I seen something walking. We bum rushed over here again. Mark had noise here on top of the ridge, and it's headed down towards your way.
I hate when the woods are that thick. It's hard to.
Well, yeah, they
We
start
are
out. It's not too bad. Then it
near
gets
the Russian
off
Creek
that ridge.
campground that was closed down, featured in Small Town Monsters and Hellbent Hollers videos.
Right,
Where
Andy.
they went in and just totally wiped out the whole campground, even cut down the telephone poles. We're in that area, and we're getting activity already here.
Well, that video
Something was definitely moving
over.
from behind a tree over there, and Mark heard it on top of the ridge going over. So. Tenfold. Michael, you need to head down towards Trisha and Cindy.
Well, hello there from Kentucky there, Toe Jelly. All right, so that video is over. And this is where it picks up me.
Meet up with Trisha and everybody. Michael went down to meet up with them just for safety concerns. So whatever it was moving in this ridge, which comes out to where they're at.
Yeah, it was
This
something else,
this land
Ash.
between the
You should've seen
lakes. I tell you, there's so much activity here. We've been in here. This is our fourth day in.
Messaged me.
Well, 3.5. And We've got pictures. We've heard knocks. We've heard howls. We've seen a few people, but never any in the area that we've had the activity.
Messaging me. I'm going to
So-
send a new link.
Draw your own conclusions.
Cool.
There's something here for sure. This is a good little walk through here.
I'm so excited. I
Let's
sound
look at this over
bipolar.
here.
See, I could hear something down in there. And at one part, I thought I seen something beside this one tree. Now, everyone, we'll be posting this complete video this week, so you'll get to see it in its entirety. Then,
Something looks black down there. I can't zoom in enough with my camera. I think it's
Oh, I
just
don't
it might
have-
just be a dark spot on a tree. To be honest with you. That's got me spooked out. Everything I see now is going to be a Bigfoot. That's not a good way to be, though. You've got to scientifically prove everything that you see.
Tim's on his way.
It's kind of one of those things you only believe half of what you see and nothing that you hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm fine. I thought I seen something down here, but I think it was a dark spot on the tree. I took photos and I zoomed in as close as I could.
You look at this road, Jen.
I know.
I mean, you know,
I use an earpiece with my radio. That's why you can't
it's
hear
not in
me
bad
talking
shape
to
at all.
anyone.
Now, when you get a little bit further down,
Just
there's
because I
some
don't
trees
like the
that are-
loud radio noises echoing through the woods.
But you can tell this road was brand new when they stopped using it.
Mm-hmm.
This campground, they destroyed this campground. They took everything out. Okay, let's see here. Let's add Mr. Vogel here.
Hey,
Hold on, give us a second. Let me get this video down here. We were watching videos while we were waiting on y'all.
hey, that's good.
We
We
had
had
to go
wait
live.
for
It
the
was so, we just couldn't keep everybody waiting. But we told everybody, hey, they're having some technical problems. They'll be right with us. Let's watch some videos.
There you go. That's cool.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
New England weather slowed me down a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I apologize. You know, some people have trouble getting in on ours, and you know, we use Restream, and
That's just my phone. It never signs on to any of them.
oh, geez, yeah. But hey, guys, it's glad to meet y'all guys finally. I know we tried to get you on before, but there was just a lot of stuff going on
Yeah, there was.
and everything. But I'm glad we finally got you on here.
Well, it's good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to be
So-
here.
Yes.
So, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and you guys tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and what you're doing right now and what you're planning on doing tomorrow. You know how it goes. This ain't your first show, so
Yeah, it's
we don't go off of
not
any
the
kind of
first
script.
rodeo.
We just let it flow.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we got into this back in 2013.
Yeah.
And we were guides. We used to have an outdoor adventure education business called Tacoma Mountain Outdoors, and we were wilderness guides. We taught everything from canoeing, climbing,
Rock
First
climbing,
aid,
caving,
and
whole
all
9 yards.
certification stuff in the outdoors, in the outdoor industry is what we did. And we did that for almost 20 years and then retired because of COVID and all that crap. Having said that, we did a lot of outdoor, we have a lot of outdoor experience. And part of that was summer guiding trips in the Adirondacks up in upstate New York. Up in we did a variety of different lakes up there. There's a gazillion lakes. So.
Yeah, we used to do the Finger Lakes. We did up in Lake Placid and Floodwood and the whole 9 yards up in there. We did that for years.
Yeah.
We did that for years. We were
I've been up in the Catskill
guys.
Mountains there.
Yeah, we were just back beyond it. We were up in the Adirondacks. We
Yeah.
were way up in there. It was nice because half the time cell phone service, you didn't have one.
Right.
You know, back when we started going, we didn't even have a cell phone.
No.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
No, 2013 we had that experience, and we had a digital camera. No, maybe
I don't even know if we had a camera.
we just didn't. Technology wasn't our thing. It just wasn't needed.
We have Trisha here in our chat.
We were self-reliant. Didn't matter what the heck the weather was. We were going to deal with it. Or if the canoe capsized with people, we were going to deal with it. Yeah. Or if a bear came into a camp, we were going to deal with it. So deal with it. That's what we did. And that's what we did as outdoor educators. And we did that for a long time. But anyways, we're out there in a place guiding a trip one year. And well, we're doing a Boy Scout trip.
From Toccoa Mountain Outdoors, we turned around and we started Cobble Mountain Critter Project. That's what we're doing now. Tell me a little bit about the project.
Well, we were talking about New York and our first experience and how we got into this. And it ended up being we were guides in New York, and we decided we were going to go on a vacation, canoe trip, and we were going to go up in a remote corner up in the Adirondacks. And that was our first experience. So we had planned our trip. So it was midweek, and there was people at work. It was September, so people went back to school. Colleges were in. And where we were was very remote, out in the back. And
we're off a long pond.
Yeah, so that's the way we planned it, for a nice remote trip and quiet. And that's what we ended up with. So
we spent years up there, and every time we went up there, we always had kids with us. But they're in the Adirondacks, that part of the Adirondacks was always packed with colleges doing leadership courses and just visitors in and out. So
summer stuff.
Yeah, you're only limited to so many campsites. So it was really tough during the summer, and that's when we decided, when we were going to take a vacation, we decided to take it when all the kids and everybody else had to go back to work or school started. So the Adirondacks was empty where we were.
Yeah.
And we knew that. So that's why we had gone. And that's when we had our experience.
Right. So we'd been there for many, many, many years. So we've been able to pattern the traffic, so to speak, up there.
Right.
It'll come in handy when we start talking about Bigfoot and patterns. Because we pattern why we were going to go on vacation at this particular reason. And it was because there was no people. So there's a rhythm to the flow of an area and things like that. So anyways, so we're up there in New York, and we get on this canoe trip, and we go into a place called Pink Pond, and it's a state campground or a state campsite. So it's designated as a marker. And you have to go to these designated campsites because the rangers will actually pick you up and kick you out if you're not in a designated site.
Yeah,
or
it
you don't have
doesn't matter what time it is either.
Yeah. So we get out there, and we get up to the campsite, and it's a heck of a time getting into the campsite. It was kind of ledgy and whatnot, but we get up there and it's trashed. And every campsite that we had been in for 15 years was relatively nice.
Yeah, they're pretty meticulous on how they keep their campsites. You're walking in as leave no trace, and that's what they want when you go in. They want you to do the same when you leave.
Yeah.
Right.
But this thing was trash. There was
trash,
logs and sticks and things everywhere, all over the place, which isn't normal.
And it was stuff that was brought into the camp. The campsite itself had been, like many other, probably the last 50 years, been camped up, and all that logs are burned off. If you've been out camping in areas that get burned off, this stuff gets picked and it gets used as campfire stuff. Well, this here was logs and limbs and stuff that was carried in and put in and covered up the campsites. But it was getting late, and we were going to do dinner, and we didn't have an option. So we cleared a space, and we set up a tent, and he set up his hammock. And we set up our camp, and that was it. We were going to go to dinner.
Yeah, we were going to go catch dinner.
Yeah.
We were going to catch dinner. So we went down into the canoe, brought our fishing stuff, and we start paddling. We start paddling down Long Lake, and we get about quarter of the way down, headed towards this, towards the way that we came in. We were headed back because there was an inlet there. So as we're paddling back, I stopped paddling and I started fishing. And if you're a fly fisherman and you're a bass fisherman, it was one of my best days of fishing. All I did was tell Tim to keep paddling. I was catching fish left and right for a good solid 45 minutes on a fly rod. It was amazing. So this whole time that we're out there where I'm catching fish, we're just outside of this stream. So we're there, we're catching fish. It became where it was just catch and release because there was just one right after the other.
Yeah, it started off as going out for dinner.
Yeah, it was really cool for me.
Funny.
Not so much for him, but for me it was all right. So I stopped fishing and we paddled it and started to go into the stream. And it just started, for me, I was in the front. And all the limbs started to close in. And I was like, nah, I'm not going in first. I says, let's spin it around. You go in. So we must have looked like a cartoon if somebody was watching. He's paddling one way, I'm paddling the other, trying to get out of there. So we spin it around and he goes in to where it's all braided. And it ended up being in front of a beaver dam. So he's in the back, but he's got the clear spot so he can fish.
Yeah, so I'm fishing.
Yeah.
So I take the fly rod and basically it's my first cast. And I take it and send it over this beaver dam. Now I'm sitting in a canoe, so my head is about the top of the beaver dam. And I throw it up there and I get it over there. And I got a hit, pulled it, and this thing started breaking water. And next thing you know,
all hell broke loose.
Yeah, all hell broke loose.
It's the last time I let him fish too.
It started, whatever was up there started screaming, trees started shaking and screaming, roaring, things like that. Stuff we had never, ever heard. Super, super loud.
Two trees
were shaking. Yeah.
And they were shaking like
they were in a snow globe.
It was crazy. It was absolutely, it was insane.
Literally, and this is a whole forest. The whole forest is calm. It's September. It's a nice, quiet day. And these two trees.
Out of in the entire area, you got two trees going crazy.
Yeah. And the roaring that started was just pretty wild.
Yeah, it was. You can't even describe the sound. It was nuts.
Yeah. And then things start coming out. Now, mind you, we're up behind this the dam actually. And we're probably 30 yards, 40 yards from the shoreline and the tree shaking. And, the stuff is coming out now towards us, be it sticks, rocks, whatever. We weren't really focused on that. We just knew stuff was coming around us. And the yelling and screaming got louder and more aggressive. And
it never stopped.
Yeah.
When it started,
at this point, it hasn't
just kept
stopped
going.
yet. So the yelling is still going.
Yeah,
and then it got
stopped.
more aggressive and louder, so we started to back out, and we get through the stream there, and we get back into the lake. And
we paddled halfway out at least into that lake before it would stop.
Well, it was probably 10, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes of an encounter.
Non-stop, screaming, growling, whatever it was doing.
Never came up for air. The noise started, and it didn't stop until it stopped.
Yeah.
And that was it. Literally start and stop.
Yeah.
And it was a time frame of that long. So
we were sitting there when it stopped.
We're in the middle of the lake now. It stopped and we're chilling. We're like, oh shit, what was that?
We're just kind of, we're really not saying anything to each other, but we're just kind of like, what? It just happened. We've been up here for 15 years.
Yeah.
We never encountered
we thought while we were out there sitting in the lake, bobbing around, wondering what's going on. Was that a mountain lion and a bear, or a couple of bears and a mountain lion, something kicking something's butt? We had no idea because we had no recall. There was never heard anything like this ever. And it was so loud. It was going through you.
Oh, yeah.
You could actually feel as it was yelled loud, you could feel there was like a tonal value to it. You could
It
feel
was
it.
like a concert.
Yeah, yeah.
Our chat is asking, were they big trees, small trees, and how far away were you?
Yeah, well, we're getting there.
We went back. We went back that following year.
Well, first of all, we were in the lake, and we were sitting there, and we didn't say anything. We just started paddling, and all I said to him was, "You know what?" And he goes, "Yeah, I know." Our campsite was just up about 200 yards from where this all took place on the same side.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
There's
The
no
whole time.
there's no getting in the truck and going home.
Yeah. And it was, you just weren't packing up and leaving. It wasn't that easy.
So we got back to the campsite and it was uneventful. We had all that junk trees that were in there that were trashing the place. We now had a bonfire burning,
Yeah.
which was good. That
All
came in
night.
handy. Burnt it up, cleaned it up. And
And we didn't talk much about it because we
didn't know how to explain what we
yeah,
experienced.
I
Yeah,
mean,
of course.
You know, we've literally never heard that sound before.
it was crazy.
I'm a full-time ranger. Eric's been working in the woods his entire life. I've been working in the woods our entire life. Never, ever heard this
Never.
ever. And all of a sudden it's happening. And you can feel the yelling. And it's super loud. Like,
And at the
the
time,
loudness was incredible. It
right,
was
and at the
incredible.
time, we weren't thinking of Bigfoot.
No, that was
That was the
thing from our mind.
that was the furthest thing from our
We
mind.
were literally in the lake thinking it was a mountain lion and a bear,
Yeah.
maybe, because it was the only big things that we could think of that
Yeah,
would make a tree shake. Maybe.
Logically.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you could
Do,
think of.
do you think that you like interrupt its fishing? It was in there catching some fish, and you got in its way. You stole its fish from it, and it was pissed.
Well,
Yeah.
since
So-
you're going in that direction, we did
Yeah.
go back.
well, a little bit has passed now. We've gone, we've left the place early that morning,
Oh yeah, we packed up
and we beat feet as soon as the sun came up because that's that's
Yeah.
what time we left.
and nothing's ever pushed us out of the woods like
Yeah,
that.
that-
did.
that was-
that freaked us
Yeah,
out.
I'd have slept in the damn canoe that night. I'd have been right out in the middle of the lake.
We thought about, but anyways, we get out of there and we didn't put much thought into it. It was an
No.
experience. We put it in the back and kept going. Yeah, and that was it. And then we'd sit there and we'd talk about it once in a while. And now we Monday morning quarterback it, and we really believe, we believe that we interrupted them fishing. So yes to your question. And
Reason being,
when we went up there, remember, we said that this thing hadn't stopped yelling for maybe 10, 15 minutes. So we automatically, not automatically, after thinking about it,
right?
there had to be more than one Bigfoot, a potential Bigfoot, the yelling and screaming, because maybe one stopped and took a breath while the others were still going off, but the noise never stopped. So we
Right.
assumed there was more than one Bigfoot, and that might equate for the
Well,
tonal values
right,
and
and the
stuff
reason
like
why
that, and the
we-
roaring.
And the reason why we think that there was multiples was because when he caught that fish, it was in the beaver dam itself,
Right.
and there was a stream coming down into the beaver dam.
Yeah, it supplies the beaver.
And if you know how big a Bigfoot's hand is, like Tim was saying, he describes it as, let's say you got
First
two
baseman,
Bigfoot side by side walking down the stream with those mitts hanging out, pushing it through the water. You're pushing all those fish towards that beaver dam. And now let's say that there's a third one just standing there waiting. Now you're shoving all these fish in there, and he's there to scoop them out and throw them out.
Yeah, Native Americans would have done the same thing, fishing and then throwing in a net or
But,
spear.
They would have. I let
pulled
him
them up.
fish one time, and look what happened.
Yeah. So Monday morning quarterbacking, we believe that they were.
Yeah, we believe they were up there fishing, doing the same thing
No,
that
not
we
a bear.
were doing.
Not a bear.
No,
Yeah, I agree. I agree
Yeah.
with you. I don't believe it was a bear either, because
no.
now listen, not to take from your story to take any of your time, but I had a similar occurrence when I was a young man. I was about 14 years old, and I grew up in West Virginia on the New River, and we lived on a dirt road. We were the only house, 5 miles one way, 7 miles the other. We were the only house. And so behind our house was the river, and we had a place that we fished. And like during the summer and stuff, when there was no school, I lived on that riverbank. You know, there I didn't have a tent. I had a blanket, and I would just roll up in the blanket at night when it was chilly and sleep right beside the fire. Well, myself and my stepbrothers went there one night. We're going to go fishing. We got in there right before dark, and we just had enough light. We were setting our poles to catfish. And so we would set our poles, we'd put bells on it. We'd go up by the campfire, and we'd sit there and eat canned food straight out of the can.
Yep.
And we were
sausage.
No, we didn't have no sausages. It was like Campbell's soup, you know, or something like that, or a can of beans. I mean, you know, I grew up dirt poor. So one night we were there, we set our poles, and like we'd got the fire going, and that's the only light we had was the fire, because we didn't even have a lantern or anything. I had one little tiny flashlight. But so we're sitting there and we're getting ready to eat, and we heard something way back up in the holler above us, above our house. And it was a real loud whoop noise, real loud. I mean, echoing down through that holler. And I look at my brother, you know, and I'm like, what the hell is that? He's like, I don't know. I ain't never heard nothing like that before. And I thought, well, it might be an owl or something, you know, but it was loud.
Oh, yeah.
So about 20 minutes went by, and it's like we hear it again. This time it's a little longer, and it's closer. It's a lot closer to us. And, you know, we were all kind of a little scared, and honest to God, we should have at that point left and went on up to our house. You know, it's dark. All we got is this little tiny flashlight, and you have to walk through a graveyard to get back to the house. And which we wasn't scared of that graveyard because we grew up in it.
Yeah.
But so probably another half an hour.
Flashlight tag. You could go in there and hide and stuff.
Probably about another half an hour went by, and you know, we done ate our food and everything. And man, this thing let off, and it was the most, like you were saying, it was loud, it was angry. We'd never heard nothing like it, and it is in the section of woods between the railroad tracks and us before you get to the river, because you had to cross railroad tracks. Then there was a little section of woods that the graveyard was in, and it was in that section of woods right behind us. Now, we didn't ask no questions. We didn't even look at each other. We all just turned and freaking ran, and we couldn't go up the path that we were coming, that we came down, because that's where this son of a bitch was. Gotcha. We ran straight down the riverbank, and about a quarter of a mile down, there was another path that went up, but it was a really steep path that come up. And that's what we ran for. That we didn't even use a flashlight. I don't know how in the hell we made it, but we made it. And we got up and we ran up that path. And I'm this little fat kid running. But you know, I never stopped. I stayed up with those two big old healthy boys, you know. And we ran straight in through the back door, and our stepdad asked us what's going on. And we said there was something. It ran us off the riverbank, and we're not going back down there. Right. And he's like, well, did you bring your stuff with you? We like, no, we left it all. We left our poles in the water, you know, our blankets and everything. Well, the next morning at 6:30, our stepdad come in our room, said, boys, get your asses up, get down there and get your fishing poles and your blanket stuff. Somebody's going to steal them.
That's funny.
So here's the important thing, okay? And then I'm going to let y'all guys finish your story, because I normally don't interrupt, but when you talked about this, man, it fired that in my mind.
Yeah.
We got up out of bed because we did what he told us, because he would beat our ass if we didn't. He was a mean old son of a bitch, okay? So we get up and we go down there, and we go straight for our poles. And when we get there, we don't see our poles standing up off of our sticks or anything, you know? Yeah. And we're like, oh shit, somebody got our poles. And as we got down to them, our poles were laying on the bank. Okay. They wasn't reeled in. The lines were physically pulled out of the water. The poles, lines, and everything were laying there. I just took my knife and I cut the lines. I wasn't taking a chance. So we ran over there to get our blankets, and like my blanket was completely gone from there. And what stuff we had there was just scattered all over stuff. So we had to pick all that up. And what we did, my brother still had his blanket there. And we just threw everything in his blanket and bunched it up and grabbed it and just run with it. And we never camped there again. The last time I camped there was probably 13 years ago, something like that. I went down there for one night stay, and my daughter Trisha, that does this show with me, she came down there and checked on me while I was there and stuff. But that's a scary damn place. But there's more to my story and stuff like that. Maybe one day, guys, I'll get y'all and I'll tell you all about it, because I grew up in the Appalachian Mountains and I had some weird shit going on.
Yeah.
But please continue.
So we were in New York and we were talking about, kind of Monday morning quarterbacking, that experience. And that's what kind of, we summed that up to,
Well,
they were fishing and
asked
we
about the
interrupted them.
trees. You asked about the trees.
Yeah. We went back the following year to follow up.
Yep.
And we did.
Yeah, because we had talked to people in between this. We didn't know anything about it, so we were told to check into a couple of groups and talk.
Yeah.
We finally got technology and found out about Facebook, and we picked up some information here and there. And then we said, you know what? We should go back. So that's what we did. We went back and we kind of looked at the whole situation, and those two trees, they were 9 feet apart.
8 to 9 feet apart, centers.
And they were what?
8 to 10 inches
8 to
around.
10 inches in diameter.
Oh, wow.
So
And they were shaking.
they were
like
pretty far apart, 8
Wow.
feet, 9 feet.
it was crazy.
And they were 8 to 10 inches around.
Yeah.
So you go out and get a dozen of your buddies and go
Yeah.
shake a 10-inch tree.
Go try it.
And tell me if it looks like it was in a snow globe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it, when I say it was in a snow globe, it was that surreal.
Yeah.
It was a tree shaking like a plant.
And it was the only two
That's
trees
power.
doing that
That's
out of the
power.
whole forest.
And the noise was just,
And it couldn't have been
Overwhelming.
what, 50 yards away?
Yeah.
Because we were in the stream when all hell broke loose.
and the shoreline it's a boreal forest, so it's really thick pine trees.
Yeah, you
Can't
really can't see
inside it.
inside.
It gets
Now, one
really
of our
dark
guests
and
asked
strange.
about being a bear, and I seen you say it's not a bear.
No.
Now I have seen bears shake apple trees. They
Oh,
try
yeah.
to shake apples out of the trees,
Yep.
and they'll get up on them. And yeah, they'll jar the tree,
Yes.
but it's not a physical shake.
Exactly.
It's
was a
like
shake.
more like a jar. It's like they pounce them,
Yep.
They just shock
Yeah,
them.
they're just kind of bouncing off it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this was nowhere near like that. And they were both doing it at the same time. There was no fruit trees there, let me tell you.
No, this was exactly what I'm saying is exactly what happened. The tree was shaking like it was a plant, like it was in a snow globe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It
how
was.
flexible it looked like. It should have broken, but it didn't. Maybe that's the stuff and the debris that was coming out at us,
Right.
being whipped out from this tree shaking. Possibly. We really weren't. We didn't.
Yeah,
it was hard to absorb everything that was coming in. We saw.
We
the
were
stuff
trying to
splash.
back out.
Yeah, it
When
was-
that all happened, we
backing
were
up at the same
getting
time.
we're getting out of here. We started backing out.
And we backed out because it got loud.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
just
we thought it was
didn't
gonna come
stop.
out at
It was
us.
crazy.
So
You
We
know,
had Donna Copus joined us, fellas.
I
Y'all
know. Donna,
Copus.
how are you?
Hi, I finally made it.
Yeah, she's a day late and a dollar short, but she made
Hey,
it.
Donna.
That's all right. Me
Wow,
too.
we got on the same bus then.
It's all right. It's all good. Yeah. and
I'll
that's-
take it out of your pay, Donna.
So we
Okay.
did. We were told to go back and check it out. So that's what we did. And
Yeah.
seeing what we saw, and kind of like Tim said, Monday morning quarterbacking, putting it all together. We went up there because the place was empty, and we could have the whole Adirondack
the-
to ourselves.
Patterning.
Mhm.
Pattern. We went there. We knew it was going to be empty.
Yeah. Every vacations were over, school started, college started, they were all gone. So we had the place to ourselves.
There's a weekend and a week flow. They could tell when the visitors are there. I've got a 1,300 acre camp I'm on right now, full of people. Bears are kind of denned up now, but if it was summertime, the bears would know they wouldn't come into camp till Monday morning because Sunday afternoon they're gone.
Yeah.
All the people are gone and they're back at work on Monday morning, and the bears can come in and do what they want.
And you're talking about patterning these animals, and you know what? These animals, these creatures have you patterned. Yeah. So they know when people are going to be there and when people are not going to be there.
Exactly.
So
we interrupted them. That's what we, when we were out in the lake, they could have cared less. They were like, yeah, look at that.
So 2 fishing trips got screwed up that day.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but that's what they were doing. That's what we believe they were doing.
And right up until the point where that fish started breaking water and they started yelling, I think that is the moment they said, nope, that's it. We're done. Get out, bud, get the fuck. And they were going off.
Yeah, they didn't want us there at all.
Yeah, there was unmistakable, no doubt that it wasn't a welcoming hug feel.
No.
It wasn't warm and fuzzy. This was get the heck out of Dodge.
When you camp in an area for 15 years,
we never had an experience.
All kinds of groups and everything else, never having an experience and then having this happen.
Yeah, it was out in left field.
That was one of a kind.
So that's what kind of got us interested in it. That's what put us over the edge. We thought pretty sane, rational thinkers, and we had an experience that we couldn't explain, and we had a difficult time explaining it because we could tell you every single animal it wasn't.
Right.
But when I say it's a Bigfoot, people question me. So, and that's fine. That's fine. And
I don't mind
no problem
naysayers.
with
You
that.
got to have naysayers. Otherwise, if everybody's thinking the same thing,
I don't have to worry
it's
about
no
it.
fun.
We know.
If it wasn't for the naysayers, we would just sit around on our asses and not do anything. But we have to prove them wrong. And that's the thing about Monsters Unleashed. When we go out and get evidence, we take days. I mean, like we have one photo that we have sent our team out 4 times to retake photos. They bring photos back. No, that's not quite the right position, not the right time of day. And you have to go back and they do it because that's what it takes to prove.
Done that.
And everything. And it's hard work.
It's a lot of
and
work.
it's not appreciated because most people will sit there and say, oh, that's got to be AI.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's really
for 3 weeks.
AI is really going to be the downfall
And
for us
it's,
because no one was going to believe it. Even if you have it standing right in front of you, they're not going to believe it.
But we have AI that detects AI.
What's that?
We have AI that detects AI now.
Anyway.
So you can put something through AI, and it can detect if it's been created by AI.
Right.
So I mean, it's really funny because there's a lot of books out there that I've put through these AI detectors, and they were written with AI and stuff. A lot of people and everything. I've written some books. Okay, I've got a few books out there, and like you can put mine through it if you want to. You're not going to find that because I've worked my ass off on my books.
Right, there you go.
And so I mean, it's just, this AI, like you said, is going to be our downfall. It's going to make us work so hard that some people are going to be like, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, even when you come up with the physical evidence, it's not going to be real.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
For us, it's not.
We've seen
it.
Look at it.
We've had the experiences. We've been doing this for almost 20 years, and we're more into the educational component. We do a lot of the education stuff. And I could care less if people want to believe my story or not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my story, and you can take out of it what you'd like. I'm going to tell you it's 100% true what we're saying. And it's a hard thing to wrap your head around. I get it. But it happened. It just happened. Yeah. So we're beyond
one
worrying
of the
about
good things for us is that most of our encounters have been with other people. Have been with groups.
Yeah, other than that one.
So other than the one,
yes,
they've all been on an expedition of some sort.
Yeah.
So there were 12 to 15.
Give me 1 second there. My co-host, she's got my granddaughter at the hospital right now. She wants me to show you that photo that I was talking about.
Sure.
That they went in there 4 times and everything. So I think I have it in here. I do, right here.
Better at technology than me.
I don't know how good you can see it here, but if you look down through that field, you'll see the second bale of hay up through there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You see it standing in behind it right there?
Yeah, that
See
dark
something
spot.
back there.
Yep.
Okay. So they went in there, and 4 separate times they went in there and took photos, and that's not there.
Really?
Yeah, that's not a bear. You guys have seen bales of hay, the big bales of hay, how tall they are, and you see how much that's sticking up above it. That sumbitch was huge.
Yeah, that looks pretty big. It looks pretty wide too.
Yeah, round bale is probably 5
it's
feet
really
tall,
close.
6
It's
feet
really
tall,
close
5
to
feet
where we
tall.
got this photo right here.
Uh-huh.
I
So-
I like how Donna presents them. She never calls them Bigfoot. She never calls them Sasquatch.
Watchers.
The Watchers. And you know, the more I think of that, that's true. They're always watching.
Mm-hmm.
They are. They're always watching. And I like the way that she put that out there.
Mm-hmm. I did Donna's song for her. Have you heard her song?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I did Donna's song for her.
Did you? Yes.
Yeah,
I
he's
did.
my mentor. I talk to him all the time. I'll have a question or whatever. I say I'm not a researcher, so if I want to, I'll ask him his advice. He's been wonderful. It's been like a year, probably, hasn't it? And he just encouraged me, and just no matter how crazy something sounded, he would talk to me. So I really appreciate you. You've been great.
Well, it's awesome.
But it works
There
two
you
ways.
go.
We go to Donna all the time because Donna's lived with these creatures, you know.
Yeah, I know
We
it.
go to her, hey Donna, we want you to look at this.
Right.
Yes, she has some incredible stories. She does. I can't wait to meet her in person so I can actually sit there and listen to her tell the story.
Mm-hmm. Well, see,
That's
I don't
what-
call
that's
them
what I'm-
stories. I call them experiences.
Experiences, yes, exactly.
Yeah, because you tell people that you're telling them stories, then they think you're telling you something
You're right.
Right.
nonfiction.
Yeah.
And I
Exactly.
mean, we're
Exactly.
well, they think you're telling them something fictional, but
right.
yeah, it's
They're
Donna.
incredible.
Donna's amazing.
I mean, I thought ours were good, but yeah, she has some that would really it'll make you sit up and take notice.
yeah.
It's, my
that's
life
what-
has been different. I can say that.
Donna, she's asking if this is the guy that you sent what she sent you to.
Yeah, I think I did send. I sent. Yeah, with the sound of the opening thing, like that. Is that what she's talking about? That weird sound,
I don't know.
like the growl or whatever.
Yes.
Was that from Trish?
Probably so.
It could be.
Well, I've had numerous people. I've sent him stuff from different people. They'll send me, and I was like, I don't know. So I'll ask, so I'm not a researcher, and I'm always looking for a second opinion. If I
And we
can't
get a lot of stuff.
then
Oh yeah.
that's how I
Yeah,
learn.
Yeah,
people
we do.
help
We get a lot of stuff sent to us.
No, really, we're not a researcher either. We're not sitting here writing down this data and all this stuff. We're expeditionists. We're in here exploring these creatures
Boots on
and
the
these
ground.
woods and everything. Now, my daughter, she is in there patterning some things right now in the LBL, Land Between the Lakes, and we know they're there. We have evidence that they're there.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's patterning them, and
Right.
the next thing is just watching them to see their habits and stuff, because we know they're there. We're just trying to find out now where is their feeding areas, where's their bedding areas and stuff like that. It's just like pattern deer.
Yeah, same thing.
They just don't live in one
Well,
spot, hunt in that spot and eat in that spot and poop in that spot. They've got different areas they do certain things in.
Right.
So
A lot
y'all
of
guys
times
know what
the
fish
terrain-
area is.
A lot of times the terrain will dictate where they go.
Mm-hmm. And Donna, she did say yes, that audio.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was that weird sound because we both sound like it sounds like demonic. Because I sent it to you, and then you're like, it sounds demonic. I said,
Yeah.
that's what But it just sound demonic.
Yeah,
never heard
definitely
that.
sounded demonic.
Oh, guys, that doesn't even scratch the surface of it. It really doesn't. We have a video of an orb, and we're going to be releasing it
Oh yeah,
soon.
we got them too.
Well, we have one that comes out of a tree.
Yep.
It stays there just for a second, and it takes off in like a 45-degree, and there's no sound. And the cameras, I mean, nobody's making a noise.
Oh my God.
And when we slow this down 50%, this thing emits a sound. When the video is slowed down,
Yep. Huh.
it emits the sound, and it's really crazy. But you know, I don't have all the technology I need to study some of this equipment.
Oh yeah. No, I hear you.
Who turned the chat on?
Hi, chat.
I
How's everybody doing?
I did not mean to do that. My
It's all good.
my screen's glitching. Is yours?
Oh, okay, it's okay.
That's all good.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
you
she
know,
says behaviors, and it seems like in every location she researches, the behavior pattern is different.
I would agree, you know, to an extent. You know, there's daily norms: wake up, go to the bathroom, eat, walk, go to sleep, get water, repeat.
I mean,
you know, those things, those are the
Just-
daily norms
just
of
like
every
us.
critter.
you know,
Yeah.
we have patterns.
So if you're lucky enough to find a track or find, could be structures or any of that stuff that may be indicators. And I think you're more lucky than anything when you see them, for sure.
Yeah,
We put
believe
the hours and the time in,
Yeah.
and we think we're going in the right woods. You know, it's kind of like you're in there and you're investigating, you're researching, and while you're in there, you just took an hour, 2 hours to get in the woods where you're going to sit for maybe a day or two, and then you go and you open up your phone when you get back and you Google Earth it, and you're like, I'm sitting here looking at this little 100 square, because it's in New England, so there's so many trees. If you get a couple 100 yards visibility, you're lucky. And if you're plunked in the middle of nothing, hoping that something's going to walk by in the middle of nothing, it's just so vast. And for us to be right there and have it come by, it's just so by
it's
chance.
like winning the lottery. It's like winning
there
the
you
lottery.
go.
You know, I do believe
Yeah, no, I agree
that
there.
they're just like it's just like another creature. They know when we're there.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want you to know that they're there, you'll never know that they're there.
Absolutely.
The moment you get out of your car, they know you're there.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
They know the minute that you show up.
Yeah. We've actually had wood knocks right after you
Oh
shut
yeah,
the door.
shut the door.
and then we
boom.
had a rock thrown at his truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been into this land between the lakes or not.
No.
Guys, listen, if you ever have the opportunity and you have the cojones, I'm just gonna say that, okay?
Yeah. No, everybody says that. Yeah.
Visit there.
Yeah.
You're not gonna believe it. Okay.
That's
You
what I've
may
been told.
think that you have some stuff going on where you're at, but I have never seen nothing like this. and I've said it in my videos. I told Trisha the very first time that we were there, when I was there, I said, how do people go in here and research this area and they don't have everything that they need? Because we were in there 5 days and every day we had some kind of experience. Every day.
Yeah.
And is it just us? Maybe. I mean, we don't know. But
I think some areas are maybe geared for this kind of stuff. Some people play portals or energy and that kind of stuff. It's a whole lot of weird, confusing stuff we're diving into. When you start going down the world of Bigfoot, a lot of these other doors and side doors open up, and it's like
The rabbit hole just gets bigger.
from flesh and blood to woo to interdimensional, and all of them are feasible. All of them are feasible.
Yeah, really. I mean, if you do it with an open mind, anything is possible.
We have 6 casts, a half a dozen casts.
Yep.
That something flesh and blood made it. At least while it's here, like he says, on Earth. And
While it's here, it's flesh and blood. But when it feels scared or cornered or it's going to get caught, I think it can pop and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's
What
why you
would
only
you-
get one cast.
No,
and
well,
that
guys,
may be
look,
where the orb comes in as energy.
I mean, something
you
that's
had-
9 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and weighs almost 900 pounds. It's going to leave more than one print.
well, I just showed you guys this photo right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, look how tall that is.
Yeah, it's huge. Okay. What if I was to tell you this is the front of that photo?
Interesting.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's interesting.
Like light
and
refraction.
we have
that-
it on video. It's foot, and you can see in that photo if you go and look. If you look down, you can see its leg coming down there, near lower quadrant of the center. You can see one of its legs there. It's kind of camouflaged. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But-
well, that was the word I was going to say. From the first angle to this angle, the term would be cloaking, or
Cloak,
this
yes,
translucence. Some
Yes.
folks have been talking about. We've had
Right.
5 or 6
Shimmies,
reports on
shimmers.
shimmering Bigfoots.
Well,
Mhm.
on video, we have its foot moving
Oh,
on
Donna knows
video.
what we're talking
That's how we got that photo. We screenshotted it off of our video. We have its foot moving. That photo was taken by accident. Now, in our video, and it's on our channel, Donna keeps popping. No, that wasn't Donna. That was
true.
Yeah,
that wasn't Donna this time. Well, Donna, I'm sorry. I blamed you for it. It's normally you.
I know. I'd be popping on and off all night.
That was Jen this time. But anyways, like in that video, you can see his foot move, but it was accidental. Like I had a knock and it wasn't 30 feet from me. Okay. Loud knock. And like in my video, you can see like I'm in an area that's really thick. There's no way you can run. There's no way. There's down trees and all this stuff. I'm having to climb under stuff and over stuff to get in there. And like I get this loud knock and I'm on the radio. I wear an earpiece, you know, so I'm on the radio and I'm telling them, hey, did y'all hear this knock? And they're like, no, because I'd got like 4 knocks and they were from different areas. So it was like there was a group of them in there. And I'm like, did y'all hear that knock? And they're like, no. And then as soon as I said that, that one knocked like 30 feet beside of me. And I'm like, well, did you hear that one? And so I decide I'm going to hightail it out of there. And I turn my camera around in selfie mode. And so I'm videoing behind me because if it's moving behind me, I want to catch it. And I send that video to a friend of mine as soon as I got back to my daughter's house. And he calls me and he's like, hold on, Jennifer's messaging me here. She said she froze and everything disappeared.
Yeah,
Let me tell her to restart here.
that's technology, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. My internet is, well, we had snow and rain last night and then it melted off today and now it's getting colder again. So
Yeah, what you had last night, we got today.
yeah. We plowed about 6 inches of snow today.
I think
Well-
we got about 3, but it went off real quick. But
This guy, he calls me and he's like, you had movement over your left shoulder. And I knew that's where that knock come from. Now I did not see that there. I looked, I panned my camera around it really slow and I'm looking and I didn't see it. But it chose to move like it moved its foot. And he caught that in that video. So we went straight to the video and started looking, you know, and slowing it down and watching. And we were able to get that right there. Let me send Jennifer this link again.
I know a lot of people that do that. They turn the camera around
Yeah, it's a smart thing to do.
so they can.
It is
video
a smart
what's
thing to
going
do
on.
because they see when you turn that camera on them, they're either gonna cloak like that, or they're gonna stop. They're not gonna move. They know what you're doing. They're not crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they
and
don't
you
know
have-
you've got that.
you
They
have
see
to
the
address
camera
it.
pointing out in front of you. They don't know that it's still on them. You know,
Right.
they'll make their moves.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
now,
we've had 4 or 5 different potential cloaking or shimmering Bigfoots.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of bizarre. It's from all over different parts of the state, different ages. and different events of why and where they were and things like that. But the end result was it went from a physical Bigfoot to a shimmering Bigfoot, and people saw like the branches going through the brush and the shimmery thing, and it would go through the brush and it crossed right in front of them. And there's a couple notable people that I've heard this from, and a number of stories that we pick up on our
I was just going to say
libraries
that
and
we
stuff
were at a
like that.
library, and the young
We
girl
do
came
library
up to me
talks
and
a lot.
was talking to me and said that her grandmother had seen it. She saw the Bigfoot when she was the girl I was talking to saw it when she was small. The grandmother watched it literally just kind of disappear, and she said it looked like Jello walking through the woods. So it was shimmering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was unbelievable. And she
And you
described
can
it to
see it
me.
in that photo. The outline of it is there, even its head and everything. Let's see. Well, that's zoomed into it right there, so you can see that. But it's there. But now, see, my wife is on our team, of course, and her only job is to take photos. She doesn't video or anything. She just walks around taking photos of everything. And that day, she seen me down. I was walking in across a dry creek bed, and she seen me down in there, and she's in there taking photos. Okay. And so this is what she's standing up here. She's in behind this thing, and it's got its attention focused on me. Now, if you look the dead center of this photo and go up slightly, you can see that standing there. If you go back and look.
It's right there.
Yeah, you can see that standing there. This thing was unaware that she was there because she was so quiet. She's sitting in there on a log. She's just taking photos. And this thing has its attention focused on me because I've got so close to it.
Right. And that's usually how that happens. It's when unexpectedly they get caught.
Yeah.
And that's
so she got that photo. But we've shared that photo, and people say that was a stump. They're like, that's a
stump squatch.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
A stump squatch, yeah. But look at that head. Look at its head, guys.
Yeah. It looks like it's got form and shape to it.
Yeah, there's arms there and everything. But
you take the photo. It's one thing to see a photo. Now you got to take that photo and take the content of the story and the context. And then you take it and you make with it what you want. We got a photo that's very similar from
when I saw mine.
Yeah.
There's a photo that they call a stump that you talked about earlier, going back and investigating and making sure everything was lined up 3 or 4 times. We did the same thing. That stump's not there.
Numbers of pictures.
The stump is gone, and that stump has a face.
Yeah, I take that and I blow it up. It's cropped out of a frame. A frame is cropped out of the GoPro film. And we take one of these frames and you blow it up. And it's, it's a lot like yours. It's a darker color than all the contrast. It's a darker color. And it stands out. And this thing had a shape to it.
And when you blow it up, you can see the face.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
This stump comes with a face.
Yep.
Now, I don't know how big of a screen you guys
down in
are.
here.
What's that?
I don't know how big of a screen you guys have there in front of you, but I do want to show you a photo.
Sure.
Okay. And like this right here was taken in West Virginia. You see that black dot down there?
Yep.
Now this was taken almost a mile from this overlook, looking down onto those railroad tracks. Okay. There's it blowed up. Now look at that. You want us to talk about a face?
Yeah, something there. It looks like highlights and shadow.
You can see both arms. Yeah. You can see like its nose. It's a little lighter there. You can see both arms. You can see that it's setting down.
I was just going to ask that. It looks, whatever it is sitting there. You can see the knees are bent.
And you can almost measure it by the ties, the railroad
Absolutely.
ties.
That's what I was going to say. There is a formula to measure this. Okay. We had this picture looked at, and it was they used a formula to go by these railroad tracks because the railroad tracks have a certain width.
Right.
The ties have a certain spacing. The ties have a certain width. So it's 4 railroad ties wide. Okay. It's estimated that it was over 4 foot 2 inches wide. It was, it's estimated that if you go by it where it's setting, the height of it, you would say you would probably double from the setting height as it being, its tallness, that it was anywhere between 7'6" and 9 foot tall. Now, I mean, that's a big area. I mean, that's a big difference there, but still 7'6". I don't know anybody that's 7'6".
Let me tell you.
He had a 40-yard experience of exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. 9 feet
40
tall,
yards.
Yep.
4 feet wide. It was like a looking sheet of plywood.
By going by the tallness versus the width and everything, its weight was estimated between 600 and 900 pounds.
Same thing. It's exactly what I saw.
Well, very similar.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter took that picture in West Virginia. Like this one gentleman up there that's really big in that area, he said that that's probably the best photograph that's ever been taken out of West Virginia. But you know what people say it is? They say it's a stump.
All right, well,
Of course they do.
No,
They
no,
always
no.
do.
that's all right. You brush them people off and you keep going.
But that's all
Yeah.
right.
Guys, you ever been on the railroad tracks?
I like when
You
they
ever been on
call
railroad
it a
tracks. Does the railroad let a stump set that close to the damn tracks? They don't let
He kind
anything
of got
set
his
that
head
close to the
cocked
track.
this way.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, and it's got its head. I have a photo of a gorilla sitting at a zoo.
Yeah.
I got a photo of a gorilla sitting at a zoo that's sitting in a similar pose. Okay.
Yeah.
It's got its legs down underneath of it, it's sitting there flat on its bottom, and it's got its head cocked the same way. Now, it's the reason I think that it had its head cocked that way, because like I said, about close to a mile up, there's a big overlook, and there's people walking up there with different color shirts, and it was observing.
Exactly.
And that's why it had its head
cocked.
cocked. Because if you've ever looked up at a tree or something like that, you just don't look straight up. You'll cock your head and turn your head and look up at something.
Yeah, you do.
That's how you do.
Yeah.
It's kind of how you do it. But I mean, people. It's
You're
the
right.
skeptics, like we said, it's the skeptics that keep us going. We have to prove, hey, no, this is what we have. And my daughter's worked hard with this, but when she released that photo, she released it on the BFRO website.
Yeah.
And I mean on their Facebook, and she released it, and she got ridiculed so bad that she removed it.
Yeah.
And it made her feel like I must be crazy or something. I'm not going to show this to people. I had to talk her into letting me take this photo and start showing it to people. This before we started Monsters Unleashed. I had to talk her into this, and that's because they pulled her so far down that she didn't believe in herself anymore.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
She's not like that now.
Right. It's too bad.
They just look at the photo and make an assumption.
Exactly.
And you could do that with almost anything,
You're never going to please everybody.
Yeah.
No.
That's just the way it is. It doesn't
you're
really
not.
matter. Like I said, you can have it dead standing in front of you. It doesn't matter. They're not going to believe it.
We
Unless
did.
they
Do
see
you
it
know
themselves.
Gwendolyn Purcell?
Yeah. And people can.
What's that?
Do you know a lady named Gwendolyn Purcell?
Yeah, I've heard of her.
Okay. We were on her show last week, and we had a good show.
Yeah.
And I spoke on this on her show, and I just kind of laid it down on the line. I kind of broke the fourth wall, and I told her, chat, look, we do this for free. We're out here, we're getting this for free for them. We don't expect money. Now, some YouTube channels, they get to where they're making a little bit of money, and that's fine because that helps support them.
Sure.
But we do this for free. Why would we go out there and try to fool you for free?
And spend all your money and all your time and all your energy.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, come
Because
on.
there's a lot more behind the scenes than they're seeing right here.
Yeah.
We're not mountain monsters, guys.
Right.
We're not
And
the
having
TV show Mountain Monsters.
and people
It's
doing
for
it.
your entertainment. You know what I mean? We're doing this to prove this to you. And I mean, I don't have to fake the truth. So
No, I don't have the time or the energy to do that.
I ain't got the money. The money
that too.
the
That's
money
it.
that we spend on our equipment and all this stuff, we don't have
Just
I don't have
travel.
that money just to throw away
Yeah.
to try to fake something. If I wanted to do that, I've got a werewolf mask right here beside of me, and I could put on a werewolf suit and I could go running through the woods scaring the shit out of people and probably get shot doing it. But I mean, if I wanted
Yeah,
to fake
exactly.
something, that's what I would do.
Exactly.
Well, in West
Would I be
Virginia,
good at it?
you
Probably
might.
not.
In Massachusetts, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not here.
They wouldn't shoot you. Not here.
No, down where I come from, they would, man. Everybody's got a damn gun. I mean, you know, but yeah, I mean, people look at us and they ridicule us for what we do. And it's like you said y'all have some very impressive castings. I've heard about them.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have any castings yet.
Yeah.
But we will eventually one day. We found some good tracks that could possibly been casted. We didn't have the material with us to do it.
Yeah.
Trisha had a dogman footprint that she tried to cast and she messed up and put too much water in it and messed it all up. I mean, because she had never done it before. But
Stuff
you know,
happens.
we're fairly new to this game. Monsters Unleashed was started in September of this past year. Okay, not that we're new to what we're doing. We're new to the televised part of it.
Right,
you know,
right.
and stuff.
This aspect of it.
Yeah, this whole aspect of it.
Yeah.
But and we're trying to build our channel and you know bring great guests like you guys and stuff like that. Because I mean, yeah, you get showed on a few channels here and there and all that stuff, but this is the first time you've ever been on our channel, and we appreciate you guys being here.
Hey, I appreciate you waiting.
All right.
Yeah. Oh no, you're fine. Look, I think Donna's sitting in the back room again. Donna.
You know,
there she is.
I didn't even know she was gone.
I'm just sitting here listening.
Popping in and out.
That's me. I'm telling you.
But no, guys, please continue your story. And I'm sorry I get off on rants from time to time. I get a little hyper. This stuff works me up. It really does. I get excited about it.
Well, we're kind of on the topics of casts and things like that. You know, we said we have a half a dozen casts, and we do. Why don't you grab that one? Right there in that box.
It's in the box.
Yeah. I had it yesterday. So Eric's going to grab one of our latest casts.
Oh,
this
yeah,
one was done out in October Mountain. This is in Massachusetts, in Western Mass. It's October Mountain. This was at Felton Pond. This cast is 17 and a half inches long, almost 18-ish, 8 inches wide, and a 5-inch heel. And it was taken on July 3rd, 24.
Yep, a
And
year ago.
on the cast, we write the date right in the mud. I don't know if you can see that, but
The reason why you scratch it
Right
into
in
the
there.
cast
there's a date.
is that
And the people
if
were
you
there.
just write it in with ink, that could have been done anytime. If you do it while it's wet, it's the date that you did it.
So there's your cast. Still
You know what I'm
got
saying?
rocks
You
and
can't
stuff
do it
in
after it dries.
You know, so this is just one of many that we have.
The reason
This rock,
that rock came out with this cast. You can see
Okay, I
the
see.
goes like that.
it fits right in.
Yeah. So when we poured it, you know, you're looking on the ground, it's like that. He's stepping on it.
That's how much pressure was put on that when it came out with the cast.
Yeah, came
And
out.
that's the thin part of the cast.
So there you go. I mean, that's almost 18 inches, 8 inches.
And it was
across.
only one because the next step was about 51 or 54 inches away, and it was up
Couple
about
feet
a
up.
foot and a half into straw grass. And
Yeah.
once it stepped up into the straw grass, you couldn't get a print.
No.
You could
Yeah,
see a track, you couldn't get a print.
We found some prints in one area that was 18 inches, and there was a 72-inch stride from heel to heel.
Yep.
Yeah, we had a set that we had taken from
The
his
one
first,
that I saw, the first
7
one that
foot.
we saw, we got a 17 and a half inch track,
Yeah.
and it was 4 inches deep. The next step was 7 feet.
7.
And then we
Wow.
got the ball of the other foot.
Yeah.
We
So
couldn't.
it was
cast the
cooking
toes.
when it did that.
What's that?
Yeah,
I said it
quick.
was cooking through the woods when it did that.
It was a
But it
7 foot
only left
stride.
2,
Yeah.
possibly 3 tracks, and that was it.
And there were
Something
two
that was-
guys. There were two guys coming down the same path that this thing was running out, and they never saw it.
Yeah.
Never saw
A
it.
lot of
never
people,
heard
when they
nothing.
find prints like that and stuff, they'll be like, well, there was only a single footprint. And I mean, well, it all depends on the
where'd it go?
ground, but sometimes they don't look far out enough
Right.
around that.
No,
to
this
find
was
the
in.
second one.
This
No,
was
we had an expedition with us.
Yeah.
There was about 15 people on this expedition.
Yeah.
And when we walked out, there's two guys that always follow behind the group because they like to watch the group to see if the group is being watched.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a father and a son go up in front of us, and they had a GoPro. And the rest of us, there was about 10 or 11 of us, and we walked up to this place called Balance Rock. And we no sooner got there, we're standing there for a couple minutes, and we asked if anybody wanted to make a howl. And this little kid says, sure, I will. Well, he gave out a howl or a whoop that was so soft. I said to myself, they'll never hear nothing. It couldn't have been 30 seconds after that. The two guys behind us came up and says, hey, we've got whistles back here. The father sent his son back. He says, we've got clapping or something's making noise up in front of us. So 11 of us go walking into the woods. And when we did, we kind of spread out like a 45. And I was standing on this little mossy rock, and it was kind of raining. It rained all weekend, and I have an orange rain jacket. Everybody else was in blue and green. So I stuck out, and I was on this little mossy rock. And I'm an outdoorsman. I'm a hunter. So I turned around and I kind of squatted down so I could look underneath the vegetation to see if I could see leg moving or anything. And I'm looking, and I said, what is this? To myself, I'm saying, I didn't see that thing there before. And there was a black thing standing about 40 yards away from me. So I stood up and I was looking at it. And so I leaned to the left like I was trying to look around, a leaf or a log or whatever. And this thing tilted. It leaned with me. And I went, what? And I stood up. When I stood up, it stood up. And then it turned.
Your foot.
And I was like, oh my God. So I started running right at it. And at the same time that I moved, there was a guy to my right with a GoPro, and there was another guy to his right. And we came into the same GoPro frame at the exact same time, pointing in the same direction.
Yeah, two guys pointing.
And the guy's in the middle. We ran over to where it was, and there was nothing there. There wasn't, everybody says, well, it was a bear. A bear would have hit, when it hits the ground, it makes that huffing sound.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have knocked trees. It would have pushed trees out of the way and just to get away from you. There was no sound. There was no tree movement, nothing.
And this thing was 9 feet tall.
It
and
was.
the size of a sheet of
I
plywood.
went back with Tim, and I brought a rangefinder.
So,
And
there's
I
that.
had him go out to where I saw it, and he stood there, and he raised up his hat and his arm and got a stick and went up. I told him to stop. It was 9 feet, and that footprint was maybe 6 feet to the left, and it was a mossy area. It was
more
17.
of a heel strike, so it was really
Yep,
hard.
it was really
hit.
hard
Yeah.
and deep. And the second print was 7 feet away. And the reason why we only got the ball of that foot was because there was a tree root going across the ground, and the toes hit the tree root and literally pulled the bark off of the root. But you can't cast that. It just doesn't work. I tried. But I did get the ball. And when you lay that ball down with the foot, they're the same depth. So it means that the same creature made that step.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 12 to
7 feet
15
away.
people there, and only 2 of us saw it. The guy with the GoPro, everybody says, how come you never get a picture? The guy with the GoPro standing there videotaping the whole thing, and he's standing right in front of a tree, and behind that tree was where this thing was.
Yeah.
You see these two guys running towards this thing, and there's a tree in the middle, and you see 2 guys point and run, and they disappear behind a
Unbelievable.
tree.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
Everybody says, why'd you run at it? I said, I have no idea.
He was armed. He was armed.
Yeah,
Never thought
yeah.
about shooting it.
That was the furthest thing from my mind. When I saw this,
Yeah.
the only thing I said was, it's not big enough.
Have you guys ever investigated Dogman any?
Nope.
Yeah, let's
We
not
don't
go
have
there.
Dogman here.
Yeah. Bigfoot's bad enough.
Yeah, well, that's what I said too. That's what I said too. The very first time I was ever
I
introduced.
investigated a Bigfoot and ended up with rakes and things like that. So I
Mhm.
don't try to go there. That crosses the line.
Well, that's what I said too. That's funny you'd say that, because I was, I started out with the whole Bigfoot thing, and I was happy with it. Okay, I'm happy with where I was at.
I
Okay,
agree.
I've never felt really threatened. Well, I can't say I haven't felt threatened, because when we got ran off the riverbank that night, I was really damn scared. Okay, but I was a kid. But I was asked about this. So when I went to the land between the lakes and everything, I got introduced to this whole dogman theory.
Yep.
And like I'd never seen one, and really did not want to see one.
Nope. No.
And like, but the dogman had other plans for me. Okay. And we went in there with a group with this gentleman. He was kind of our guide. His name's Mark Roberts. He's with Night Vision Paranormal, and he lives in that area. And to be honest with you, he had recently started researching the dogman himself. Okay. But we went in there, and I was on the trail of Bigfoot. But one of the first locations we went into, we're walking in down this road, and I'm talking to him. He gets a phone call, so I'm talking to this other gentleman that was with us, and like he walks up to us, and I'm standing there, and I've got my camera pointed on this one guy, and I've got my head turned, and I'm talking to Mark too, but I hadn't turned my camera, and I wish I had have. But I turned my head, and I'm talking to Mark, and right over Mark's shoulder in the woods there, probably 55 yards or so, I seen something silverish gray go from one tree to the other. I mean, quick like that, and it was almost unbelievable how fast it went. And I'm like, hey, I just seen something right there.
Yeah.
I just seen something. So you said about bum rushing into it, going running straight into it. We all agreed right there at that moment, we're going to bum rush this. We're going in there. So 3 of us guys, and we're pretty good sized guys, we go straight into where I seen it to. Nothing. Absolutely nothing there.
Yeah.
We call the whole team over there, and we scour that whole area for an hour and a half.
Yep.
Looking for stuff. Now there had
That's
been
needed.
hogs in that area, so they had it tore up pretty good. But we found nothing. Okay. But yet again, I told you before, my wife, her job is to take photos. Okay.
Take pictures.
She's serious about her damn job. She takes photos. Trust me.
That's good.
And like she took this photo. Okay. And you see there's 3 cedar trees right here in front of you.
Yeah.
And then you see it. If you move over to the right, you see a tree with a Y there. Okay.
Yeah.
If you look at the base of that Y, right over to the left of it, you see that little dark spot.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what we were just talking.
So we had to take and screenshot this photo to blow it up bigger to see what it was. And we got this.
Weird.
Okay. Let me introduce you to Mr. Dogman.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that it looks like 2 arms or paws or legs or whatever you want to call them sticking
It
out.
was in the tree. This photo, I mean, it's in the tree. It's hugging the tree. Okay. Now we have like more photos that she took that day. Now you said you're hunters, okay?
Yeah.
You look at these ears up there on this thing. That's not a bear.
No.
Bears don't have pointed ears. Bears don't have pointed ears. And its ears, one ear's flopped up, the other ear's flopped down.
It looks flopped. Yeah.
And this thing is up in this tree. And what's funny about that, guys, okay? We have the photo. I don't have it here in my thing so I can show you, but we have the photo. And in this photo, we can count 3 dogmen in this photo. And what's really freaking spooky about this is that I absolutely did not sign up for is Do you see it in that middle tree right there? Just follow that middle tree up and look.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
He
like
looks
a
like a
fucking
head with
shadow
shoulders,
person.
comes down.
Yeah, it's like a shadow person or something.
Yeah.
But
tall.
it's
Hmm.
20 foot off the ground or close
Yeah.
to it. 15, 20 foot off the ground. And I mean, you know, we
And
got
this is
that
in the
photo.
LBL.
This is in the LBL.
Yeah. Well, hey.
And my daughter that's in the chat, I think she's still in the chat. My daughter goes in there every weekend and sometimes spends 16 hours a day in there
Yeah.
researching this. And Donna will tell you, my daughter is a go-getter. You know, she's
She is.
hardcore at this, and I worry about her.
Mhm.
And
She
you
does
know,
good. Yeah.
she was going in just her and her husband, and now she has 2 other team members to go in there and everything. And I worry about the kid because I just showed you the face of death.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's demonic. There's
Yeah.
no
No, there's. Well, you know, I believe that it's a supernatural world, right? I mean, if there's you got supernatural things that happen all the time, miracles, all kinds of weird things. So why isn't there's just to put things in a box like that and say no, you can't have dogmen or you can't have. I've had people tell me that they saw fairies, little fairies. Go.
Yeah.
I can't say that they haven't. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't say that they haven't because after physically seeing the Sasquatch and then seeing what we know of the dog man and all this stuff, you have to question if the tooth fairy is a real thing.
Right.
Well, what I saw come underneath my gate one day, I don't know if it was a tooth fairy or not, but it was definitely a fairy.
Yeah.
It flew right in front of my wife had a chicken at the time, and it flew right in front of the chicken and kind of slowed down, and I don't even know if it saw it or not. And it went right up over my deck and right up into the bushes.
And I'm
So
glad
he's
you
one
said
of the
that.
guys that saw it.
I'm glad you said that. Okay.
It was
Because
unbelievable.
you guys went from 2 guys that had never experienced anything like this before to now you've seen a fairy. Okay.
No, I haven't. He did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's seen a fairy. Okay.
Yep.
You're going to
Sitting
see a
in the yard
leprechaun
doing
this March, but I'm pretty sure of it. The thing of it is, I feel that once we have exposed ourselves to this realm,
Mhm.
that we're opened up to see more.
I agree.
Susceptible. Yeah.
I
we
agree
are
also.
susceptible. Yeah. I'm sorry, Jen. Go ahead and get your words in there, honey.
I was just saying, I
agree.
agree totally with you because it seems like after one thing happens, you're constantly seeing or having something happen to you of all kinds of things.
Yes.
So, mhm.
And I'll tell
And
you
not
right
just
now.
fairies, we've had orbs.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
orbs.
too.
You know, we've had orbs and it's been seen with multiple people. We believe a Bigfoot through a FLIR, and once it wasn't on the FLIR anymore. We watched it was a light blue ball,
Yeah.
and it
That's what I
went
saw.
right up this pine tree. Never, like Tim says, it never weaved in and out. It just went straight up. Got
Yeah.
to the top of the pine tree. It was like 100 feet up, and sat there, and then just to the right, just went across the sky, and then boom, gone.
It's
And
crazy,
15
isn't it?
people watched it.
Would you have ever thought in a million years before you seen what you saw that you would ever been experienced, or you would have been the type of person that would have talked
No.
about something like this?
No, I never believed in it. I used to say, because we were spent our whole lives in the woods, you know.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I mean, why would I
We heard
want
of
to
Bigfoot,
think
but
of
we
something
didn't
like
think of
that,
it.
you know?
You know, it wasn't our.
Yeah,
Guys, wait till something in the middle of the night hits the bottom from underneath your house and knocks your 100-pound warm morning coal stove 6 inches off of the floor.
Oh,
A stove
Lord.
that probably weighed 300 pounds.
Yeah, that's
6
wild.
inches off of the floor. That happened to me when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's either an
And
earthquake or
Yeah, right.
The second noise is when it ripped our crawl space door completely off of the hinges getting out from underneath of our house.
wow.
Knocked it plumb out into the middle of our yard. And I talk about that in one of my books. this thing, and you know, it got underneath of the house because I was a young kid. I was probably 13 years old when this happened. Okay. When I say I've lived with these things, with this most of my life, I have. Okay. But I was sent to get wood by my mom, and we kept our wood for the wintertime stored underneath of our house.
Yep.
And, you know, we had a coal house. We kept our coal in, and then we kept our wood stacked underneath of our house, keep it in the good and dry. And
Yep.
so I went in there, and I'm just a little boy, and I'm getting my arm loads. Well, when I come out, I couldn't get the door shut. You know, I couldn't latch the door, so I just took my foot and pushed it closed as far as it'd go. And I left it that way, and I was too lazy to go back out there and shut the door after because it was freaking cold. So I left it that way. And that night, my stepfather, he was an alcoholic. He drank a whole lot, and he drank wild turkey liquor.
Ew.
And he's there, he's listening to a song on the radio, and I'll never forget the song. It was Footloose by Kenny Loggins. Y'all remember that song? Remember the movie and all that stuff? That's around the time the movie was popular.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And so it was being played on the radio and stuff. And he's stomping his foot. He's pretty drunk, and he's stomping his foot and all that stuff. And he's having a good old time. And I'm sitting in the kitchen at the kitchen table with my mom. Everybody else was in bed, and I'm eating a piece of buttered cornbread, you know, and because I was hungry, and I was a fat kid, so fat kids are always hungry.
Yeah. Okay.
But so I'm sitting there, I'm eating it, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching him, and I'm thinking what kind of idiot he is. You know what I mean? Because he's drunk, he's showing himself, acting fool. And that's when it happened. He's stomping his foot on the floor when something hit back.
Wow.
And when it hit with the force that it knocked that stove up off of the floor.
Wow.
And like my mom sent me in to get my stepbrother. My stepbrother was 17 at the time, and she sent me in there to get him. So I go and wake him up, and I'm shaking him. Wait, Ricky, wake up, Ricky. And he wakes up, and by the time he wakes up, the next big crash happens, and that come from right underneath of our bedroom because that's where the crawl space door come in at. And that's when the door went off the hinges, and he stands straight up. What the hell was that? I said, exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Something tried to knock the coal stove over in the living room, and now this just happened. So he goes and gets my dad's shotgun.
Something's under the house.
I've got, honestly, somewhere here, I still have, you wouldn't believe it, I still have the flashlight. A little ever-ready flashlight. It took 2 AA batteries in it. The little dim ass thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we had. So I get this little flashlight. He's got the shotgun, and we go out the front door. We wasn't going out the back, and we start coming around the house. And when we got to where we could see the backyard, that's when we seen that door and sitting in the middle of the yard. So we walk around, and we get to where the crawl space hole is. There's a hole there now because there's no door no more.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I find that light. I'm shining that light underneath of there, and he says, "Go on underneath of there and see if you see anything." And I looked at him, and at that time I didn't really cuss. I said, "You're fucking stupid." I said, "I'm not going underneath there." I said, here's the light. You go under there. And I just started walking back around the house to go back in. And he's right behind me, of course. He wasn't going underneath there either. He had a shotgun, but he wasn't going. And we go back into the house and told my mom, I said, "We didn't see anything, but we're not going back out there again tonight." The next morning I get up. We had a wood cooking stove in our kitchen. Okay. And that's what my mom burned. She'd start a fire in it every morning, and she made our breakfast on it while she's heating up the house and all that stuff, you know. So I go in there, and she's making breakfast, and they called me Bubby as a child. She said, "Bubby," she said, "go in there in the living room, look at the floor behind the stove." And I walk in there, and fellas, the floor is split upwards, busted under that stove. Now, I didn't see it that night because with all the commotion and stuff, you know, going on.
Yeah.
But I went there the next morning. Now, we lived in an old coal company house, and the floor was made out of like pine boards. and stuff. There's no subfloor, and that's all it was. The house wasn't even insulated, but it had split those pine boards upwards.
Yeah.
And everything. And like stuff just got weirder throughout the years that I stayed there. But that's one of my things. If you've never had that happen, God, you don't want it to happen to you. So
no, I can't imagine. We've heard, we've taken reports of Bigfoot potentially slapping houses or barns.
Yeah, we have one just up the road there that every now and then the guy will get a hold of us and say, "Hey, my house just got slapped again."
Yeah. Donna has
it up the road a few miles. Yeah, and
that's a miracle it's not slapping Donna's house right now.
I have actually been on shows before when I get hit. Right where I'm sitting, there's my wood stove's right here. Behind that is that window, and for some reason, that's where it hits at. I was like, it's either throwing rocks at my head or trying to get my attention. I'm not sure which.
Well, Donna, you got a wood stove there. You imagine the force that it would take to knock that wood stove up off the floor about 6 inches.
But Donna, you have a good rapport with them. You can open up and let them come in and sit down.
It's cold outside.
It's cold out.
Yeah. Like that picture I showed you, that's in my bathroom. That was literally my arm out the window within 10 feet of my arm. That face I got. Yeah. That's how close it was. I mean, I smelled it. And
I'll be right back.
That's another thing that we had too, was the smell too. We've had that. We've never had that before until we saw that.
Yeah. Two Bigfoot experiences.
That's awesome.
Two visuals, two sightings, and they both involved orbs.
Yeah, both orbs, and the last one that we had the smell with it.
Yeah. I have the orbs, like you talk about the big blue orbs. On where I go up my trail, I have my trail cameras, and that's where the coyotes comes down. That's why I told you about the coyote coming down, and then it got to the camera and it turned sideways, and it was a deer. I'm like, how does a coyote turn into a deer? But there's these huge orbs where you come down the trail. There's like orb comes this way, and the orbs comes this way, and then they meet. And then they turn, and then they go back up the trail. And the night that like portal opened or whatever, when I was with that group, the orbs came. I had the eye shines. The orbs came, and then I just walked out, and it looked like you would take a fan blade, and it's just like going real, real fast. And we're pitch black. It's 3 o'clock in the morning out in the woods. There's no electric nowhere. It's just black.
Right.
But the weeds started going, and it's like this big. And me and the other girl were looking at it. And of course, Mike Miller was sitting in front of it. And we're going, and she's going, what is that? Kind of giggling. And he goes, what the heck are you guys laughing at? And this thing, but when he turned, it just went, it was like this black hole, and it just it went. But I never saw that before. That was totally something new.
I saw a light blue orb too. It was like the size of a basketball.
Yeah. About that.
We've seen light blue, and we've seen an orangish, a yellow orangish, about the size of a beach ball.
Yeah.
That's how big mine was.
That lightning strike behind you, that color, that crystal blue, is almost the color of it.
Yep.
And it was probably beach ball size, I want to say.
Yep.
And
About a
this
beach
is
ball.
in the middle of the night. A Bigfoot. We're watching it through our flares. We could smell it, all that good stuff. It disappears into the woods. We figure we're done, and we're fixing to leave. And all of a sudden, poof! In the middle of the state forest, this blue nightlight pops on.
Darkness.
Yeah. Yep. Middle of dark, and this blue orb just pops on, and it's probably 50 feet up a 100-foot tree. So halfway up this tree, this light pops on, and it simply travels up the tree, and
just like you were saying, and it just sat there, and then just slowly went across, and then gone.
And it could be irrelevant, but the Bigfoot, what we
walked
saw,
in that same direction,
paced on an ash tree. Going back the next day, there's an ash tree that had fallen. It's almost 90 feet long. And this Bigfoot was pacing on the ash tree. Yeah. When it finally finished checking us out, I think, it jumped into the wood, down off the log and into the woods.
Yeah, it jumped into the straw grass, walked through the straw grass, and then walked into the woods. And
Yeah.
that's when
Now,
it turned
guys-
into an orb.
Now we all know that was probably light reflecting off of Jupiter's rings, passing through swamp gas.
Yeah,
was
right.
causing that effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had a dozen or so people with us.
And this is the same spot
we
where,
used to investigate for the BFRO
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. And we worked for a group called Squatchachusetts. So, we've done it for not quite 20 years, but we've been around doing it for a while. And we've been involved. We were kind of like the Bigfoot cops, when we worked with the different groups, you get calls and you're the one that goes out. So we go out and you'd have an experience potentially, or you'd see a track or this, that, or the other thing. And, after 20 years, it gives us almost, we go off and we could do a library talk and do 2 hours like nothing.
that's nothing. 2 hours at a library is nothing.
From the
We spend
different
2 hours out
experiences.
in the parking lot after a
Yeah.
2-hour show.
Yeah,
Swear.
we've been going now for 2 hours. Well, you guys were a little late, but we've been going now for 2 hours.
Yeah, you get in there.
And we're going to have you guys back.
Oh,
I mean,
geez, we
there's
just
no
scratched
doubt.
the surface.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
see my
That's the picture
Yeah.
you sent me, isn't that?
Yes. Can you see it?
Yes, sure
Well,
can.
I'm gonna make your screen bigger, Donna.
There.
Yep.
That's 3 toes.
Yeah.
See the? Can you see the nail?
Yeah.
Yes.
How
Absolutely.
deep is that impression? How deep is it?
Oh, probably 4 inches. So see how
Wow.
big.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Now, just think you're out there camping and this thing comes walking in on you. Could you imagine that?
Well, actually, that one picture, I think I sent it to you. I had camped out and spent the
Yeah,
night,
you did.
and I had the camera. I got it where I got the one on the front, but I turn it backwards.
Yep.
That was above me. I didn't see it. I didn't smell it. I didn't
Right.
until I looked at my pictures. And I'm like, yeah, I've been there all night by myself. There's no one with me. I go back here. I got my campsite. That's my escape. I get the heck away from everybody. And if they come close to me, I throw rocks at them. It's like, get away. Oh, this is my spot.
Yeah.
That thing, the watchers, that don't bother me. I don't worry about that. But that thing, that was not a watcher. And he can
No.
go back wherever he came from.
We just had
But I think the watchers watch over you.
Yeah.
I had a guy come into the camp the other day. So Eric, this is the first time he's even hearing it. Frank. I think I had the Bigfoot experience back here.
Yep.
This is on the property. We got a 1,300 acre camp, and it's a private camp, and we allow hunting for a few people. This guy goes out there and has a Bigfoot experience with his kid. And it's done. Now his kid's off hunting in a property that's adjacent to ours. And this is recently, because deer season just finished.
Right.
And so it was during last deer season, just a few weeks ago. And he was out in Granville. I'm not going to say more than that. And he saw what looked like that picture, that dog man looking picture, but more of a physical shape. And it was it was kind of bizarre. It looked like a dog, and it was upright position. This thing had a tuft, like a lion's mane on the back. It was like a tuft of hair, he said. And it was just a tuft of it, not like a lion, all the way around, but a giant pad on the back. And
Jen, it's a shame Trisha's not here to hear this.
I know.
yeah, no, I haven't seen it. I know the guy. I believe him. I think he's credible. I know his kid had the experience because him and his kid had the experience here hunting in camp.
Back.
And the Bigfoot was mimicking owls, actually. He was and except it sounded like a super, super deep owl.
Right.
And
Right.
they all have tones, and you could tell.
Yeah.
And this was, square hole round peg kind of thing, didn't fit. And that's, so they had their experience. And he comes back to tell me now that his kid just had this experience over there while he was hunting. So there is the potential now for this dog man in here.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a mountain lion sighting, a mountain lion report.
Yeah, we did. And that was just up the road too, right up the road from where the guy gets his house hit.
Yeah, we live pretty far out in the woods, and then our properties abut state parks and forests, and
That's me.
it's just a huge greenway. My mailbox is three-quarters of a mile down the street.
So guys, I mean, have you heard? I mean, like, have you noticed that like 2025 there's been more sightings and more things going on, you know, for that year than there has been in the past 10 years?
I think there's more people feeling safe enough to open up and bring it out and
Maybe
say
so.
something. I think the sightings have always been there. They just been afraid to come out and say it because they don't want to get ridiculed or the job that they've got and things like that. That's why it's amazing. After a library talk, we'll spend 2 hours in a parking lot, and they'll tell us everything.
You know, they're free show, and I don't want to say the term sold out, but that's kind of like what it is. When we do a show at a library,
Yeah, it's packed.
every show has been packed to capacity. To capacity.
It
where they have to
amazes
stop.
it amazes the library because they can't believe that there's that many people that are interested in it.
So there's
Yeah,
that.
you know, I've thought
And then
about
we-
getting into that. I mean, I know there's a way that you get into all that. I've been thinking about getting into that to show some of our evidence and stuff. Now we are going to be. This is an announcement that I want to make. We're going to be at the Golden Pond Distillery in Cadiz, Kentucky, on February the 7th, and we are going to show. Now, I've showed you guys some impressive pictures here tonight. I think they're impressive. I mean, y'all guys might think they're trash.
Nope.
But we're going to show some evidence that night. And it's hard to talk about it because Trisha's not here. But we're going to show some evidence that night that I believe is extremely significant.
Good.
We have video. We have photos. It's amazing. A couple of the ladies that are in here right now, I believe, have seen it. And Jen's there shaking her head.
It's
But
good.
we're going to show it publicly there. We want to release it to the public in like eyes on. We don't want it to be in a video here on YouTube. When we show it, we want to release it to the public because it can't be erased from their minds.
Right.
Okay. And then we might talk about releasing it on YouTube. You know, some of this stuff is dangerous. You just don't know. You just don't know what you're going to show one day. I mean, you know, I could show this picture to you guys tonight, and then that picture no longer exists tomorrow.
Right.
So we just want to make sure we get it out there and you know, and stuff like that. And if Big Brother's watching tonight, it won't do you no good to come to my house and get it because you'll never find it. So I'm pretty sure there's a copy in Alaska right now as we speak.
Probably.
Yeah, that World Wide Web, you can store them all over the place.
Yeah, but yeah, guys. I mean, I wanted to show you another photo too. I forgot about having it on here, and then I want to show you a photo and I want to ask you a question about it.
Sure.
But they got this one here too. You see it in there behind that tree, peeking at them.
I see something in the lower right-hand corner, dark spot, and then I see this upper left.
Yeah, it's about mid-region,
very dark
to the left.
Yeah.
It looks like a head and shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see it's coming out from behind the tree. It's kind of like leaning out there.
Yeah, and it shows shadow, so it shows like it's got some depth to it or height.
Yeah. They got that in there too a few weeks ago.
Huh.
But
That
we've
looks like
kind
it
of
was
been
going through a lot of branches.
It was. Unfortunately, it was.
Well, you get what you get, you know.
Yeah. I mean that's what I'm
But
saying.
at least you got it.
You can have $1 million worth of camera equipment and still have a shitty photo.
Oh, absolutely.
These things are not meant to be photographed.
No.
They're
No,
not.
we've got 9 trail cameras out, 9 or 11 trail cameras out. It's like a needle in a haystack.
Do you get
They
stuff
might
like
be
this?
think they're going to be, but who knows?
I promised my chat that I'd show some new evidence this week, and I've showed a couple of photos, but you was talking about trail cams. Here's a trail cam we got. That eye shine in the middle is a coyote. Okay, what's significant in this photo is that this tree here on the left part, you see there's a black blob in front of this tree, and part of the tree is missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So the timestamp on that photo is 9:37 p.m. on December the 28th. The timestamp on that photo is 10:16 p.m. on December the 28th. That black blob is there. It has moved slightly. Okay. If you can see it there.
Yeah.
Has moved slightly. Okay. This is 6:39 a.m. on the 29th. This is that next morning. That blob is not there. It was not raining.
No, and that's a nice clear shot.
Yeah, and
too.
it's
The
not,
other one was
it's,
kind
it's
of.
not the deer. So
We can't say it's fog or something like that, right? I mean that's not fog.
No,
it was
we're not sure what it is.
Yeah,
but it's definitely not there at 6:40 in the morning.
Did it trigger the camera when that empty picture? There's the one with the coyote.
The one with the coyote there.
Right. So did that?
Okay, but this empty picture, there's nothing in the frame that we've been able to find.
Right. So
but
that
something triggered your camera.
Right. Something had to trigger it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
you know that branch? See that branch with the arrow? Oh, is that my cursor? Oh, it's my cursor. Anyway, it looked like maybe that branch was moving.
A branch with an arrow on it.
Well, we find that even shadows will trigger your cameras, and you might have some fluctuation in the branch, and it was just kind of wobbling. And you see,
I mean, there could have been wind. We'll see in this photo here that one branch is kind of lower.
Yeah, and it's clear.
One it's kind of up, so there could have been wind, and that branch triggered it. Correct. But the black blob is weird.
Well, go back now. Go back to where it was the other time. Okay, I was trying to look at that black blob right here too.
Yeah, it's almost like a little dot of blob, and then to the right of it, there's a bigger blob.
darker blob.
Sort of. Now go back. So something triggered it. See this thing? That branch looks like it moved.
It did move. It went up.
You see that branch? Look how clear it is. And now look how fuzzy it is. Something hit that branch to make it move, and that triggered your camera.
And then there it is with the deer.
Right.
But there's no blob there anymore.
And no blob on either side.
No.
And that picture, the branch is nice and clear.
Yeah.
There's no dark on either side. And like you said, that's a clear picture.
Well, that's cool. That's that's what keeps us going. That's weird stuff.
I've had some weird things pop up on the camera sometimes.
Not a Bigfoot though.
No, not a Bigfoot. But I've had fog roll in, or I thought it was fog, and I've had different things happen where they would set it up, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, shadows, wind.
We talked about photos also, where we go back in and go back in several times to take photos and stuff to try to reproduce them. Well, this one here.
Now, did you go back and take another picture of that?
They've been back in there probably 6 times, and it's not there.
Yeah.
And I have photos too. I mean, I'd have to dig them out here because I wasn't prepared to show all of them. I just have this one.
Yep.
But I mean, they will be eventually in a video.
Yep.
So, because we have video of that
certainly
area.
shows you something there.
Yeah,
it's
something
all
there.
contiguous color, and there's highlights.
Yeah, there's something black standing there.
It's upright, yeah. And the thing about this is that was taken off of a video. So we have the video, and she's videoing as we're going through there. And like we're watching this video, we're reviewing all of their footage and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is that over there? You've seen that black thing standing on the other side of that fence. So that's zoomed in. The video is pretty clear. You can see the black, whatever it is over there. And you can tell it's standing up. And they had no clue it was even there when they were in there walking.
Well, he's the one that spotted my so-called stump with the face. He's the one that saw it. He says, well, what's this? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then he showed it, and then we went back and we lined it all up, and it's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I've got a stump photo that'll blow your mind.
Yeah. So
I got
we-
a stump photo that you look at this thing, you'll swear it's a Sasquatch. It looks
Yeah.
like it's furry and everything. But then when you back out, you know, on another shot of it, you back out, you can see it's actually a root ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I've
I
seen
thought
those.
it looked like a Bigfoot.
Yep,
Yeah.
I've seen those.
And you know, and I could have. I'll be honest with you. If I wanted to fake something, I could have probably passed that off to people as
Yeah.
a Bigfoot. But that's not what we're about.
No.
We go off and we do these things called squatch rides, and it's just a big long drive. You get a coffee and we go off on a big old loop, and
About a
that
3-hour,
loop,
4-hour ride.
that loop could be an hour to 4 hours, and it's all backcountry
Yeah,
ish
all through the
roads.
woods mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a couple of sightings through squatch ride.
Oh yeah.
You know, just driving around. You know, you're hoping to cut a track. It's, you know, kind of old school. You got a horse. Well, he's got a Dodge 250. You know, I'm cutting a track. Well, I'm looking outside the truck, looking for, you know, something to cut a track, you know. And so we go for a squatch ride, and we'll see, you know, stuff like that. And we found one of those stump squatches
Oh yeah.
in October Mountain one time. And we stopped and we backed up and looked, and holy crap, there's a Bigfoot. And
Yeah,
it wasn't. It
literally-
was a stump squatch.
Literally got out and scoped it out. Then literally had to walk out there to see what it was.
Yeah, yeah, it was that believable. You know, if you just take the first impression of the
Yeah.
of it, what it might have been, and you could have easily passed it off and said, "Oh, hey, here's something controversial." But
Yeah.
once you go down that road, it's not worth
No,
it.
no,
you
no
know?
thanks. When we put it out there, it's going to be authentic.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
even want to go in that direction. You know, we don't want to go in the other direction. It's not worth it.
It's not worth trying to fake
Nope.
them. It's
No.
really not. I was looking here. I've got some pictures, like you were talking about taking rides and stuff like that. You know, just going around and stuff. Trisha, her very first visit into the LBL, they're driving down the road, and she's just looking on the side of the road, and she tells her husband, she's like, "Stop, pull over," and like she finds like footprints. It's hard to see right there. She sees these from the car as they're driving down the road on the side of the road.
Yeah, right here.
Right there. These are old footprints.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see the toes in that footprint.
Mhm.
Now
That's what we do. You know, we drive down the roads trying to look for
that little vape right there's one of a vape just like that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's see. Turn it around here.
Right.
It's a little vape like that.
Yeah.
All right. So that vape is probably 4 or 5 inches right there. So it gives you, you know,
Right.
something to look at too. Let's see that photo
Hey.
there. I wish I could blow it up on here.
Hold on.
I can't blow them up without sharing my screen. But I mean, she's seen these photos. You can see the width of those, and there's toes. You can see the toes pretty good in that one. But
That would have been good to cast.
Yeah.
but
You know, remember one thing when you're out there: when in doubt, cast it.
yeah, but she wasn't
Because you
prepared.
never know.
She didn't have anything but her cell phone and her vape with her that day. That's all she had. It was one of those day trips. I'm going to ride down there. She was preparing for me to come there, and she was going to ride in there, and it was something else. But then I
That's
said I
what
was
we
going to show you a photo, and I was going to ask you a question about it. Now, we have been starting this thing that I've been showing our guests, this photo. It got passed around on Facebook, and when I seen this photo, I'm like, this is a good thing to take a quiz on. Okay. I want to get you've seen Sasquatch. Okay.
Yep.
You've had personal experiences and stuff. I want to get you to tell me, this is a lineup. You're at the police
I've seen
station.
this before.
I want you to give me the character that you saw that most looks like the character that you saw.
Well, if I were to try to describe it, not face-wise, I didn't see the face. All I saw was the head and shoulders to where they came out to where the arms were. I would say the head was kind of like the last one in the right-hand corner, but not as pointy.
So
Sort of
probably
the
more like
third
picture
one up,
11
probably.
then.
What's that?
So more like probably picture 11 then.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about somewhere around picture 11. but it was about 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
And the stump
So
squat,
so the one that I saw,
chin was down low.
Yeah. And
I
that's in that picture that we had of the stump squatch was picture 4.
Ish.
Yeah. I believe there were 3. I believe that I caught the one in the middle. He didn't know where to go, and he's the one that got caught. The whistling was from one of the ones that were behind us, and the knocking was from one of the ones in front to the right or to the left. And he was in the middle.
well, the artist that did this picture is a forensic artist
Is that Sibylla?
for what's that?
Is that Sibylla Irwin?
I'm not for sure.
All right.
I read the posting on it, okay?
Mhm.
And this is one that he's took people's statements and draw the photo from how they've explained what they've saw, and these are the separate pictures that they have gotten.
Mhm.
And we have had guests to pick number 4. We've had guests to pick number 11. We even had a guest to pick number 15.
Interesting.
But I mean, you know, this just goes to show that there's different, that these Sasquatches, they all don't look alike.
Oh, no. Well, neither do we. We're all different.
Yeah, we're all different. And it's
You know,
just like, it's no different.
The
than
animal
dogs.
world is different. They're all different. You know, not every animal's the same.
Yep. Different than dogs, gorillas, all of them, they all look different. So, I mean, I think that there's several different species of them and everything. And there's a video out there where they, oh, hello, Brenda. There's a video out there where Ron Moorhead's Sierra Sounds, this guy takes the Sierra Sounds and he takes this Kentucky Sasquatch guy. He has some sounds too, and he compares those on an audio spectrograph, okay? And they're identical. The Sierra Sounds are up in the Sierra Mountains.
Right.
This happened this one happened in Kentucky. But
This
they're
chatter
identical.
Talk.
Yeah. Yeah, the samurai chatter and the whoops. The whoops is what he was comparing.
Right.
But they were identical. Okay. So you have the same species that was in the Sierra Mountains in Kentucky.
Very
Same
possible.
vocal pattern, the whole 9
Well,
yards.
and you know, if you look at it that way, if they can go in and out, what's to say it wasn't the same one that went from one place to another?
Correct.
That's in the woo world, but yeah.
You know, I mean,
It's possible there's people that have gotten different tracks over a number of different years over different areas, and it looks to be the same track. You know, so it's, you know, that creature, and it's got identifying indicators on the foot track.
Where Tim, you know, where I saw my Bigfoot, Tim and I went back 3-4 years later during COVID, when everybody was right at the end of COVID, everybody wanted to get out of the house and just go. We decided to go fishing. We said, okay, no one's going to bother us fishing. Well, it seemed like everybody and their brother had the same idea, was to go fishing because it was one of them days, you know. So we decided, we'll go squatching. And we went back out to Balance Rock out in Savoy, Mass. It's a state forest. And we parked, we got out, and we started walking in, and it was a weekend of 4 days of rain. And it just finally kind of slowed down. It was drizzling. We walked out and we started getting these little pebbles or acorns or whatever they were being tossed at us. And we could hear these little taps, like little kids, you know, they were tapping. So we kind of walked in about quarter of the way in, and all of a sudden we got one loud one. And we kind of we'd say, hey, okay, let's get out of here. You know, we'll go back to the car for a minute and think about this. We went back to the car. We're sitting in the car. We're discussing it. I pull out the recorder. I pull out brand new batteries out of the package. I look at the date. They work. They're good. They're good batteries date wise. I stick them in the recorder. I test the recorder. It works. We go back out. We're walking out there. I've got my camera on my phone going. We get about quarter away again, and we started getting the things tossed at us, and you can hear the taps. So we pushed in a little bit further. We got up to about the second bend, and all of a sudden, whatever was being tossed, it got bigger
And closer.
and closer. And then the knocks got a little bit louder. So we got pushed out again. So we left. We got in the car. We took off. We went and had lunch. We're sitting there at the table and we're discussing it. We're getting the courage to go back a third time. I'm saying, let's just go back and just go in. I said, at the top of this hill, there's a mud puddle. It's the only mud puddle up there. If there's going to be a track, it's going to be in that mud puddle. And he was kind of hesitant. He was like, I don't know about that. He says, why would it go through there? I said, I don't know, but it's the only mud puddle up there. So we finished lunch. We drove back and we just walked straight in. We walked straight in. We come up to about the third bend. He's up in front of me and he stops. And he goes, oh my God. He says, look at this. There's 2 tracks in the mud going in 2 different directions, and they're only 8 inches long.
Wow.
These are we believe what happened was, since we went back the third time, which we don't think they were expecting it, that when we came around the corner, it pushed them through. They wanted to get away, and they stepped right into the mud puddle.
Yes.
Now, this is 4 days of rain. I mean,
It was
who in their
raining
bright mind's
after
going to
we
be
were
out there barefooted?
Right. It was raining that day.
You know, I mean,
It was
there's just no way. So we covered it up with bark and whatnot, because we had nothing with us. I said, hey, we'll come back in the morning and we'll get here before the kids wake up.
Wait a minute. Before we covered it, the track was fresh.
Oh yes,
And that was the cool thing about this, is because it being a fresh track, it just went and squished the water out like it was a dry track.
It was like a sponge inside.
No water.
It was clear.
No water settled in it at all.
And the water was right beside it.
Right next to a puddle. It was a vernal pool.
You know, it was right there. So, and there was no water in that track. They were fresh.
It just got squished out, and we were able to then build a shelter over it.
We built the shelter, protected it from the rain. We came back the next morning. We were in there about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
We undid it. I mixed up all of the plaster Paris, and I started mixing in the tracks. And I said, geez, I wonder if I can get the second track. So and I'm glad
we weren't even going
to do it. And but that's why I say, when in doubt, cast it, because I cast that second track. And we were standing up. So while it was drying, we walked into where I had my experience, where I'm standing on the rock. It's dead quiet. All of a sudden, you get this one solid Louisville slugger knock in the. If you look up Savoy State Forest, Balance Rock, you will see it is in the middle of nowhere, in the woods. There's nothing around. There was one solid knock, and
within 100 yards of it.
Oh yeah, it was pretty close. Whatever was out there stood up in different spots and just started moving. And we were just standing there looking at each other. And Tim goes, hey, let's get out of here. I think those could be bears. But I wanted to stay because I've already had my experience there once. So I wanted to see it a second time. But like he said, that could be a bunch of bears moving, but nothing, nothing moved. The trees didn't move, the saplings didn't move, but you could hear whatever it was moving. So we turned around, we went back to the puddle. We grabbed the tracks, wrapped them up in some plastic bags, threw them in my backpack, and down the hill we went. We dried them out. About three weeks went by. We dried them out, started taking the dirt off, and the one that I wasn't going to cast is the one that it looks like the toes are broken and they're separated.
Yeah. Got the east-west cast, the two toes, the middle toes are.
And you would have to think that too, okay? Because these things are walking around barefooted, and I'm not saying that their feet are not really tough as hell,
Oh, they got to be like shoe leather.
But yeah, I mean, still they're going to step on a rock. They're going to break toes, and there's not a doctor there to set their toes, so they're going to be all fangled looking. And,
this
and
was
so you have to think about when you get castings that are in a area that's trafficked by people and stuff like that, and they've got perfect little toes, it really makes you wonder.
correct.
I mean, because these things are walking around, they're stepping on tree limbs. I mean,
Everything.
they have to be breaking toes.
Th-
They're not
We
made
have
out of
asked, we
There's absolutely no way that the
No.
cast that we have that these toes weren't broken. They
Oh, yeah.
simply go out and then this way.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're called the east and west. These two digits, they go east and
I
west.
just thank God that I had enough
Yeah.
casting material to do that cast.
And it was
Yeah.
an odd shape. Most foots are, there's transitional foot. It kind of goes from a 2-3 inch heel to a shaped foot.
Yeah.
This had a instep that went the ball of the foot went way out and then came out. So it wasn't a normal size foot. It wasn't a normal looking foot. It looked like a foot, but we said that one, we don't send the cast. We send the pictures off to Dr. Meldrum. God bless his soul. And he said on those particular casts that they had a really good quality and very good character. But he said they were within the spectrum of a human footprint because they were only 8-9
Right.
inches long. And he didn't want to go off the deep end and say, yeah, that's a Bigfoot, because it's not a Bigfoot. It's only 9 inches. But he said it had character and it had shape and there was a lot of question to it. So he was impressed with it.
And that's without the backstory to the cast. We just sent them the pictures.
We never tell them anything. We just say, hey, Doc, here's your,
But when you look at
Give us
it
your 10
and you
cents,
listen
and he
to the
does.
story, you got 4 days of rain. Who's going to be out there barefooted?
Yeah, no doubt. Now,
4
this
days.
picture right here,
Yeah.
this was taken in the LBL. This is not our photo.
That's a
Okay.
nice picture.
I
That's a
got
nice
this
print.
over here. But, I questioned the toes
Yeah.
in this photo. I do question the toes in this photo and the straightness of the foot itself. Okay.
Well, I've seen prints that were pretty straight though. Sometimes.
Yeah, I have too.
It all depends on how it's stepped.
Yeah. Out of one track, it's easy to say it's a Bigfoot. If you dive into it and blow it up, you might find it's a front step of a bear and a back step of a heel. On the back step could be a double step bear track. And so it's, what's the next one look like and what's the one before that one look like?
Right. If it made one, it had to have one before and one after.
Especially
Well, I
that
have-
substrate.
Let's see here.
Hold on.
Because they talk about the mid-tarsal break, and there's the possibility that space between the heel and the ball of the foot, that space.
And you got to remember when you're looking at a Bigfoot print and a bear print, the big toe is on the opposite side.
bear print. You just look it up. The anatomy of a black bear foot, and you're going to find the big toe
Is on the
outside because it holds up the weight. It's balanced.
so they don't fall over.
Well, there's the other one that they posted with that one.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I wonder if you could blow that up.
Yeah, I know.
It's trying to blow it up.
Yeah,
How long was that? How wide was it? Do you know?
there was no information on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
They
The
just
cool thing is
posted
it
them.
doesn't have that instep of a human
Right.
shape. So
Right.
it has that almost like that Bob Gimlin patty
yeah, it's that
cast.
flat look.
It almost goes off and it's almost like almost like a patty cast.
It's almost too perfect to me.
Well,
But,
I
I
was
mean-
just gonna say, it looked like someone took a patty cast and put it in the ground. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm looking at. If
Yeah.
I were to ID it, I'd say it was looking like a patty cast. Just the shape.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it
Not
is,
knowing the
but the shape of
information,
it.
not knowing the information about it. You don't know the width, the depth, the length, how long the step was, or anything. Could it be? Yes, it could be.
Yeah.
But without
Patty.
more information, you'll never know.
What's that, Jen?
I got Patty's footprint hanging on my wall right there.
I'll bet it looks very similar to it.
It might. Do I need to go take it off the wall so we can look at it?
Well, it's been known that people get like they get, because a lot of those castings like that, they're all done and scanned into computers, and then they make 3D printed models of them and stuff. People get their hands on those, then they take them in the woods and they They stamp
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
in different places. The dirty, rotten bastards doing stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that area where that track came from looked like it was like the edge of a riverbank or a lake or shoreline or in the sand of some sort.
That was a pretty nice print. See, up here in New England, we don't get them like that.
Well,
Everything up here is hard. Unless you're in mud or you're along some
Right.
really
You got that
soft
one.
stuff, you know. But a print in the woods is almost impossible.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
all the litter and
To
stuff.
actually get a whole print, it's almost impossible.
I found in the LBL, we were in there on our fifth day that we were in there. And my grandson, when we were pulling up, there's an area in there that it's called Racetrack Hollow. And at some point there was a bow hunter that lost his life in there. It's said that he was killed by an unknown animal. But we pulled into that area. There was like 3 or 4 vehicles there that we had that day. And as we're pulling up, my grandson loses his shit in the car. He's seen something right on the side of the road. We didn't see it. I guess he was looking, and he seen something and starts tripping completely out. Okay, 9-year-old boy. He's tripping out, and this kid was excited to go. We'd had him into other areas, and I've got videos of him doing tree knocks and everything, and he's just really excited. And we get to the last area that we're going into, and he just loses his mind. And he's crying, he's hyperventilating and all this stuff, So I head straight in there into where he said he'd seen this at. And I get in and I cross this creek, and I get up on the other side, and it's beautiful, man. It's all open, but it's going all uphill and stuff. And I walk up in there a good quarter of a mile, just looking around, looking for any kind of sign of anything. I checked that creek bed first. That's the first thing I did. And there were footprints in that creek bed, but that creek bed's been traveled by people. A lot of people go in there. And so I really couldn't go off of any of that because there was a lot of gravel in there too. So I get up in there and I walk around, and I don't see any evidence of anything. I'm being quiet, and I video every bit of this because I video everything that I do when I'm in the woods. But so coming back out, I'm walking back out, and I walk on the opposite side of that creek bed. And like I get almost across from where he said he'd seen this at, and I found some footprints. And there were 8 footprints there. It was kind of like something was standing in one spot, and it was moving around. It was like it was looking around, and there was like 8 footprints, just all different ways.
Yeah.
And they were very large. They were 18 inches. But they wasn't castable. The ground was so compacted there that it just really wasn't castable, but you can make them out what they was, and you can see toes and stuff. And I have it on video also. But it was
I carry my case of all of my casting materials and all my investigation equipment now. I carry it in a plastic box because I've been there not having it, I said, I'll never do that again.
Well, let me tell you this cute little story. We're in there. Okay. My daughter lives on a military base, so I couldn't bring any weapons or anything with me. Okay. But so we stayed so many days. We stayed so many days at a hotel, and then we had to stay a few days because we extended our trip. So we had to stay with her. And like I'd brought casting material with me, plaster Paris. I had all that stuff. And like I wanted to give Trisha half of what I got. So I got a big gallon Ziploc bag, and I put this plaster Paris in this bag. So this is back in October. Well, they had someone tried to come on base with a car bomb, and they had locked down everything. They're searching people's vehicles and all this stuff. And we've got to go out that day. And we've got our cases in the back with our equipment, and I have my big Ziploc bag of plaster Paris in my backpack,
Yep.
And I thought of her house. I'm like, shit, I got to take this with me, But if they search our vehicle, they're going to pull this out. They're going to think this is drugs or something, So me being a smart ass, I got me a Sharpie and I wrote on the bag, not drugs, do not store on this bag. And I stuck it in there. And I'm just waiting for us to get pulled over because these guys are going to see this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Crystal. Yeah. That one photo that I showed with the hay bales and stuff, Crystal, one of our team members from Kentucky, Tennessee division, she's the one that took that photo there. And thank you, Trisha. If you want to shout out people, you got home, get your ass on here. We're still alive.
There you go.
So I'm just waiting for us to get pulled over, and I'm going to have to explain this to a damn MP, at the gate and stuff. But I was going to have fun with it. I mean, I was literally going to have fun. But luckily, we didn't get pulled over or anything. But that's a hard thing to explain because I didn't have the case, that the plaster came in or anything with me.
Yeah.
I just had it in a big ass Ziploc bag. It looked like
That's what I do. That's what I do. I have mine inside one of those plastic coffee containers.
Yeah.
1 pounders. But an average cast will take almost 5 pounds.
Yeah.
An average
I didn't
cast.
have that much. We had 4 pounds. We had 4 pounds of it total. I had 2 pounds in my bag. She had 2 pounds in hers. And, which we could have pulled them together and had 4 pounds. I mean, we could have had a thin cast, if anything.
Right. You're better off getting a thinner cast if you've got multiples.
Yeah.
And you only have so much. You got what you got, so you got to try to spread it out the best you can.
I have rabbit wire.
The best one that you can.
I have rabbit wire too, rolled up in my backpack.
Yeah.
That I can cut out, cut out the shape of it, pour a little bit in there, stick the rabbit wire and pour it over top of it to help it make it stouter, and stuff. Yeah. But I've heard of people just taking sticks and putting in them too.
You do. Yes. You take the sticks, or you can do it. You can do it so, especially if it's on an angle, you can put those sticks there as a blocker, so it doesn't run out.
No,
but if you want to make
reinforcement,
if you want to make it thick, you lay the sticks in the cast. You lay them in, and when it'll harden, and it'll make it harder. If you have the wire, that's good too. It's just like pouring concrete.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start casting some of these things because now I thought of a new idea that this black edging stuff you can get for your flower beds and stuff like that. That's flexible.
You can buy the evidence.
A roll of that.
Yeah, you can buy that evidence case, and it's got all it's got the form that you put around the cast and you pour it in. That's what I use.
A little aluminum.
It's an aluminum slider that you slide in and out. When I did my cast, that thing was maxed all the way out.
Wow, send me a link to that if you have a link where I can get that at.
Yeah, it was given to me, but their evidence. It's called an evidence kit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you can get them, and they got the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they got the bags and everything else with it.
That, or like he was saying, you take sticks and put them up along the edge, and you can build yourself a little dam.
Yep.
And then pour your mud, and then
because most people don't have that, so you use Mother Nature, and then you lay them, then you break them and stick them inside the cast. As the cast starts to harden, you pop them in, and that will harden the cast. It'll strengthen it, so when you pick it up, it won't fall apart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I use Hydrocal now. Hydrocal is a little. You pick up more definition, and it's a little bit stronger than the plaster Paris. Okay. Dental stone is fantastic. It's expensive. That's what a dentist uses on your teeth. And it comes out to be a cream color thing after it hardens. But as you're mixing it, it's warming and it's hardening. So you have to mix it and get it in there. So I used all three, and right now I've been using the Hydrocal, and that's what they make your bird fountains out of and things like that. Mm-hmm. It works really well. So that's what I've been using.
I appreciate you telling me that because we've been looking more into it, and stuff. I've actually I'm starting to look into the software that you get. You can scan them with your phone.
Yes. I was going to tell you that too.
And that'd help out on some of these ones that, because, we're working in a lot of hard clay. We're working in a lot of hard clay. And and stuff like that. So it just makes it easier to get impressions and stuff.
Yeah,
Like-
if you have
like
an
I was-
iPhone, you can get that.
It's called Scaniverse.
It's called what?
Scaniverse.
Yeah, if you have an iPhone, you go to Scaniverse, you can get that 3D scanner.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
simply just put your phone over the track, do your little doodly doo,
Yeah.
and it does all kinds
Measures
of
it,
flopping
does
and
the whole thing for you.
gives you a whole 360 deal, and it's pretty cool. It's
Then I could probably
Well,
use that to 3D print them too, couldn't I?
Probably.
Yeah.
A
I'll
friend of
look
ours
into
uses that.
I'll look into that. But guys, look, we've been going now for almost 3 hours. So
I know,
look,
and still we've yet to even
yeah,
get
even scratch the
into
surface.
it.
We need to get you guys back, and
Awesome.
so we'll get with you and see if we can get you back in sometime in February, maybe. Would that be okay?
Sure.
And this time maybe just go ahead and come to your brother's house so you can use his computer this time.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
it just doesn't cut it. For some reason my phone just doesn't like getting on.
Well, to be honest with you, it's best to do it on a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The phones, these like I use Restream.io, and then people have StreamYard, and they don't cooperate with phones.
I can't get on any of them.
Yeah, it's like especially when you show pictures, because you'll get on some of them and you can't even see everybody that's on the screen.
Yeah.
So it's best. Like I actually bought a friend of ours. I bought him a one of those Chromebooks.
Yep.
And got him one of those Chromebooks for him to do his streams with at the time, because he didn't have a computer that was powerful enough to do it. And the Chromebook worked great. And you can pick up one for $35 off of eBay.
Yeah.
And everything. Now he's since got a good computer, but cell phones don't work that great.
Someday I'll upgrade.
Yeah. I was telling somebody today, I said, you got all these guys out here doing all this Bigfoot research, and they've got, they got $800 cameras and, and all this software and, thermal and LiDAR and all this stuff, and they ain't got a PC that they can do a video with.
That's true.
It happens, I probably wouldn't have this one if I wasn't a gamer. So, but hey guys, it's been great having you on here. We definitely want to get you rescheduled as soon as possible. So I'll have my daughter Trisha to reach back out to you, and she's the one that does all the scheduling and everything like that. So I do definitely, while it's still fresh, want to get you back on here, and I apologize that I've rambled on so much.
It's all good.
I get a little excited, and I like sharing what we have, okay? Because I believe that for us as researchers to come to a significant find, that we really need to work together.
Well, you said it. Share.
You
have to share
what we have. And you have people that have really good stuff and they just set on it.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, when we come back the next time, we'll have our cast. We'll send you some of the cast, the pictures.
Yeah. Send us.
There you can pop them on.
Well, I'll give you an email address. You can send it all to us, and I'll put it all right up here on the screen. And and that'll be even better, because like our guests, they love watching the evidence. They really do.
Yep.
And guys, we'll have even more fresh evidence next week when we come on. Hopefully the whole team is here next week. It just so happened that my daughter had a medical emergency with my granddaughter, and then our Andy and his wife Crystal, they got stuck at work this week. So we just wasn't all available to be here, and I thought the show was going to go to hell there for a second when y'all guys couldn't show up.
Yeah,
like it, and then Donna didn't show up, and it was just me and Dan. I'm telling Jen, I'm like, well, we're just going to watch some videos and talk about it.
Yeah,
that's too funny.
And then my internet didn't want to cooperate, and the videos were all junky and stuff like that. But
that's my problem.
We had a good show, and we gave y'all more content. We went an hour longer than we normally do.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. So guys, if you would tell our audience how they could reach out to you if they have something in your area, and email address. whatever?
All right. So we're the Vogel Brothers. You can find that on Facebook.
Yep.
The Vogel Brothers page. Eric runs that page. And I run the Cobble Mountain Critter page. That's our business page. And
once in a while, you can catch us on Instagram if I can keep up to it.
yeah. This fall, you just talked about sharing information. We're going to be, it's not, we don't have the date yet, but it's going to be in the fall. And we're doing a researcher rendezvous. So it'll be an invite to researchers, and they can come up here in this 1,300 acre camp. And it's just going to be sharing information, not a
that's
festival or any of that stuff. It's just going to be a bunch of investigators, boots on the ground people sharing information for a weekend.
I might have to get with you on that because that works out for me. I might head up that way and come up and hang out with you guys a little bit and stuff.
That's what we're
always
do.
Welcome.
And Jen,
we'll take you out.
Jen, if you could tell everybody how they can reach out to you.
Creepyculture@yahoo.com, Creepyculture on Facebook, Creepyculture on YouTube.
Very good.
Wow, yeah.
And Miss Donna, you can tell us all about the Watchers Maidens.
No, that's about you find me on Facebook, and that's my little site there. And I really appreciate you guys, especially these guys are great, and
they are.
They answer my questions, and you've been such a encouraged me so much. You do not know what this guy has did for me. He's been very much. I probably wouldn't went as far as I wouldn't have went as far as I have went and succeeded in things that I succeeded in without his encouragement. So I really appreciate you.
Oh,
good stuff.
Not a problem. That woman there has some incredible encounters. Absolutely does.
Tricia said, thanks for coming on. Good show.
Thank you, Tricia.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Somebody else. Oh, okay. They're saying that y'all are great guests and stuff. Well, guys,
Appreciate
if you
it.
don't mind hanging in there, stay on. We'll see you in the green room. I'm going to play a little outro video here, and we'll be good to go.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
On strings, thunder rumbles, monsters awaken when the silence breaks. Shadow whispers in the darkest lakes, LBL's calling from the forest deep. We don't run, we lose no sleep. Footprints vanish in the midnight fog, something moves beyond the cypress log. Infrared lock, camera set, heartbeats echo, we're not done yet. It's more than myth, it's breathing proof. Claws on bark and shattered roof, growls beneath the forest floor. We're not alone anymore. Monsters unleashed, we chase the unknown into the dark where secrets have grown. LBO monsters, show your face. We hunt the truth, we don't give chase. Three red eyes in the motion trap, bones arranged in a perfect map. Screams at dawn from the eastern trees, static buzz in the broken breeze. Legends breathe in the woods we roam, we carry the fear like a weighty tome. Voices whispering in body despair, dead adventure, do you really dare? Monsters unleashed, we chase the unknown into the dark where secrets have grown. LBO monsters, show your face. We hunt the truth, we don't give chase. Crimson trails lead us through the night, dancing shadows, a primal fight. Footsteps echo with forgotten pain as the forest calls. We